All right, what's going on, guys? Another day in paradise, and I got something for you guys here. Got a clip. This was actually shared with me over on TikTok. Unapologetically biracial and proud. Shout out to her. She does amazing work, and she shares a lot with me and with all of you, the whole community, basically. And just personally today, she kind of DM'd, inboxed me, and shared this with me, and wanted me to kind of jump in the comments of the video that I'm going to play for you right now over on TikTok. And I'm not big on to going back and forth, especially over on TikTok with the comments because they flag all my comments. I put a comment, I respond or reply to people, and they flag my comment. I'm like, what? So TikTok is super biased. There's a heavy censorship of mulatto voices on TikTok, but so I feel like it's better to kind of pull material from there and share it over here. I feel obviously my reach is larger over here, to a degree, and there's less censorship, right? So that's kind of why I like bringing material from over there and then posting it over here and talking about it. So that's what I'm doing right now. But shout out to her, unapologetically biracial and proud, because she shared this with me because I was not aware of this clip. But there's so much material out there on TikTok of biracial people who are still stuck in they haven't come to the realization that they're mulatto. They haven't had their epiphany moment. Their consciousness is not yet awakened and developed, and they're still kind of stuck. They haven't figured it out yet. They just haven't figured it out. And yeah, so I'm gonna play this clip. This whole clip is about white mom biracials and black identity. Now notice one thing before I play this clip. Look at the subtitles here on the video that this lady published. She's a mulatta lady. And look at how white is underscored, the W. Look at how biracial, the B, is underscored. What's the capital letter? What is uppercased? The B for black, right? So we kind of know where her psyche is at, right? That tells you everything. But let's play the clip. I'm going to give my commentary, and I'd love for you guys to get engaged in this. And of course, put your comments. Let me know what you think. And yeah, let's start this out.
White mom biracials. Let's talk about it. If you're ethnically biracial black, that means that you either have a white mom and a black dad, or you have a black mom and a white dad.
Right there, I'm going to stop because I said it's problematic. They say if you're ethnically biracial black, what does that mean? It's just the enforcement of the one drop rule. If you're black and Asian, you're Blasian. You're just as much Asian as you are black. Like I see a lot of Blasian people, they look more Asian than they do black. It's crazy, but they still try to enforce this one drop rule on people to like force you into blackness in this broad category that's not fitting to you. It's not natural. And what they're seeing now is they're seeing mulattoes push back. But our main opposition is not going to be black people. For the mulatto community, our main opposition is not going to be black people. It's not going to be white people. For the mulatto community, your main opposition is going to be the black identified mulattoes who have found their place in blackness to be the foot soldiers and footstools of the black community. That is always going to be your main opposition until further notice. From what I'm seeing right now, the landscape all over social media, even today on this channel, you go to my latest community tab, community post I posted several hours ago. I uploaded a video earlier today, and someone posted a comment, it's like, I'm mulatto and I don't agree with your approach. I really don't care. I really don't care. The fact that you're mulatto and you're black identified, you need to understand I am going to go harder on you than anybody else on this planet. You people need to go over there, go back to where you came from. Don't come over here to this mulatto space because we will check you and correct you over here. This is a mulatto centered space. If you're black identified, that's perfectly fine. Go to those channels and those spaces where you can feel special. Over here, we do not center you. This is a space that centers mulatto men and women unapologetically. So just want to lay it out there. Like your main opposition is not going to be black people. It's not going to be white people, right? It's going to be mulattoes who are black identified. Okay.
And those combinations mean totally different things, right? Societally, culturally, among the Black community. One is perceived as very positive, and the other can be perceived as negative. If you're a Black mom biracial, that typically means you were raised in the culture, you were raised to be respectful, you were raised to like not center yourself among Black people.
It's interesting. I want to pause here. She says, if you're a black mom biracial, she says you were raised to be respectful. What does that even mean? Let's unpack that. That's the language they use, the SJW. Let's unpack this, right? What does that mean, though? You're raised to be respectful. Because if we, people who have black moms, like it doesn't matter what race your mom is, depending like how do I want to say this? Like they're trying to make this person here is trying to equate it that if you have a black mom and you're biracial, you're mulatto with a black mom, that you're raised to be more respectful. But we can analyze and observe within like the black community, specifically African American, and they all have black moms. They're black, right? Monoracial, whatever. They all have black moms, but it's like, where's the that's respect component? Why did she throw in respect there? Respect for what? Like, and I want to be as diplomatic as possible, but it's like with the upkeep of the community, with respect for property, respect for law enforcement, respect for private property, respect for the civil system, the justice system, respect. Like, what is this respect coming from? Like, what is she talking about? Respect. That if you have a black mom, you're raised to be respectful. But you have monoracial black people who have black moms who are primarily raised by black moms, black women, but we see all this disrespect. They disrespect you because you're light skinned. If they want to diss you, the first thing they're going to say is, oh, you light skinned, you soft. Oh, Drake, he's soft. He's light skinned. You know, he does those R&B songs. He's soft. You know, but if you're dark skinned, if you're Tyrese, it's perfectly fine. You're not soft, even though you got video footage of Tyrese, dark skinned Tyrese crying and whining because his mulatto partner like doesn't with the custody battles. I kind of feel sorry for the guy. I've said that before. No hate to Tyrese. I've never heard him publicly say anything anti-mulatto, so I'm not gonna publicly, disrespect the man. But there's video footage of him out here crying, right, Reno? And I'm pretty sure one of his publicists told him, "Hey, don't do that stuff." But he went through a custody battle. He's a dark-skinned R&B guy, but it's like they don't ever throw him under the bus or Keith Sweat. And I'm a fan of all these guys. I like R&B. I'm a 90s baby. I grew up on this stuff. So I'm a fan of music, black music, etc. So but this the first thing they do is they diss you because you're light skinned. So that's ultra disrespectful. That's not respectful. So when this person here is telling you that, oh, if you have a black mom, you were raised to be respectful. But I'm sitting there like, wait, what? A lot of these people who have black moms, like they are super fucking disrespectful. The first thing they're gonna do is try to talk crap and clown you because you got light skin or because you're mixed. We're like, how is that respectful? It's ultimate disrespect. And they've done that with Drake. But Drake prevails, his perseverance. He's this mulatto with ultra durability and perseverance. He's very versatile. He can switch and rap and do these disses and switch and do it R&B, and B, and it's like he's super marketable. He can go to Australia, sell out a whole stadium filled with Anglo white Australians, and the people here in the community, they hate that. They hate the fact that he doesn't need them as a market. They hate that when they see you succeeding out here. You don't need them as a market. You're not depending on them. Like they hate that. So Drake gets a lot of hate, right? But I just want to point that out. Like this person's talking about that you're raised to be more respectful. Like, no, that's a false statement there. Because there's a lot of people who got black moms, if they're monoracial or if they're biracial, and they're super disrespectful. So let's just cut the crap, okay?
The opposite is true. If you're called a white mom biracial, that oftentimes means that you do center yourself, that you're not like accustomed to
If you're a white mom biracial, you center yourself, but why the hell not? Why is it, see, they want to humble you. Why is it okay for everybody to center themselves? But for you, they want to maneuver you into this subordinate position. That's not natural. And you guys who listen to me, you guys who navigate towards my social media platforms, you guys understand that's not a natural position. That's why you tune in and listen to me. You want to hear my voice, you want to hear my words, you understand it is not natural for people to tell you to be humble, but they don't have to be humble. You notice that? The criteria is not set for them. They can be bold, they can be disrespectful, they can be arrogant, but with you, right? With you specifically, you got a white mom. They want you to center everybody else and to be humble. How is that quote unquote fair? I mean, life's not fair, right? Everyone has their advantages and disadvantages. I get that, but it's like, how is that normal? How do you why do you accept that? That's my whole thing. As I question, I challenge with people, the audience. How do you accept that position they're trying to propose to you, where you have to center everybody else and just relinquish your own autonomy? I can't live like that. I can't. I rather be the bad guy, which I guess I am. That's kind of a position, a title I should adhere to and admire. I rather be the bad guy than be a guy who is a subordinate and like puts everyone else, it's altruism that they want to force you into, and everybody else gets to be cocky and confident and center themselves. See what she said about center. She says white mom biracials, they center themselves. Why the hell not? You guys are glorious. I just played the song like from Drake right there. You guys are super talented. You guys are the most beautiful people. You guys are glorious, beautiful, talented people. Why not center yourself? I don't understand. Like, and people out here trying to humble you. Very bizarre, but we have to challenge them. That's the key thing here. Let's continue on.
your culture, that you don't perceive yourself as black. Before we go further, I think it is important to note that this conversation of white mom versus black mom biracial is framed through motherhood, which is an inherently kind of misogynistic idea. It's this idea that mothers are the only one that sustain tradition and that the fathers are kind of just like left out of this conversation. I think it's just important to keep in mind. Let's start with black mom biracials, right? Like
I don't know why she had to throw in this misogyny stuff, but then again, I'll say it. You look at her kind of nasal piercing, it's kind of a dead giveaway. I know I might offend some people with that, but take it for what it is. She threw in the whole misogyny thing when it wasn't even necessary. Like she just threw that in there, just like very sneaky, threw it in there, misogyny, misogyny. Well, wait a second. We're just all adults here, human beings, male or female, having a conversation. What the hell does that have to do with misogyny? She didn't even go into detail into that. She's just sneaking it in there, kind of throwing it in there. That's kind of a. I'm gonna say I look at that her nose pierced, the nasal piercing is like, okay, and you throw in the misogyny, you throw in the intersectionality, you throw in the LGBT, okay, that's kind of a dead giveaway. Okay, let's stay focused here. I don't want her to switch off into the whole intersectionality, all these other stuff, all these other struggles. Let's just stay focused. You're talking about white mom biracials, which she is a member of as well. But if she wants access and privilege and granted, a position within the black LGBT community, she has to speak a certain way and promote and proselytize certain talking points. So, but the uniform she has, like with the piercing on the nose, that's kind of part of the uniform, right? Within academia, intersectionality, etc. So I don't know why she threw in that whole misogyny thing. That's very bizarre. And guys, this is live impromptu. I only first I like I said, the lady, shout out to her, Mulatto lady, unapologetically biracial and proud. She shared this with me several hours ago, earlier today. And I played the video on TikTok, but I only watched like a minute of it. I was like, okay, this is good. I'm gonna talk about this. So I didn't play the whole clip. So this is live impromptu, my reaction. I didn't pre-watch this and I don't have any notes here that I'm kind of, let me review this, blah, blah, blah. No, I only watched like a minute. I was like, okay, this is good material. I want to talk about this live, give you guys my live reaction. So here we are right now. You guys like this? Make sure you hit the like button. Support your guy. Hit the like button. You guys like the stream. I appreciate that. Let's continue on.
Zooming out from the children, I think we as like a Black community oftentimes prefer.
Again, she said, I think we as a Black community. So she's Black identified. But again, you have to understand there's LGBT component to that. She threw in misogyny when it wasn't even warranted. And she has the nose pierced and she's a white mom, biracial. She threw in all this other stuff, but she identifies as Black. Like, what the hell is Black if you're half white? What is Black? But she sees herself as an extension of the Black community. What the hell is Black? Like, this lady is a biracial, mulatto. She has a white mom. What the hell is Black? And she sees herself as a Black community. Like, it should be Black people challenging her and telling her, you're not a part of our group. Because she needs to honestly get her wake-up call. I'm not trying to recruit these people. I don't give a damn how you identify. Have a good day. Once they check you and outgroup you, you're going to be looking for answers. You're going to go on YouTube and type in mulatto. You're going to find me. That's it. Like, I don't care about, I'm not trying to recruit you. I do not care where you go, how you identify. That's not what this is about. This over here is for people. We have a voice and we're going to use it. If you identify as Black, that's it. Good for you. I wish you the best. But it's very interesting how she sits there like, oh, us as a Black community, but it's like, what the hell is Black then? You got a white mom. So when Black people are going to sit there and let you, even if you had a Black mom, but your dad's white, they're going to let you speak for them. Like, so now all you have to be is 50% Black to be Black. And this is how Black people get conquered. Right. And I think a lot of them, they're okay with that because they kind of let Anglos conquer them. In Africa, they let Arabs conquer them. And so they let these people conquer them, but like they still whine and cry about it. That's why I don't understand why they cry about colorism and featureism. Why do these people cry about featureism when they're claiming people who are literally only 50% Black? And they're 50% European. Their European genes are strong. It changes their entire facial symmetry. They don't have these big, broad, negroid noses and lips and stuff. And it's like, but you still claim these people as part of your group. But then you cry featureism. They get all these problems from this stuff, claiming these people. Like someone who is half Black and half white, they're not Black. They are an entirely new, independent entity, which is mulatto. Okay. What other YouTuber or social media personality is going to mention this or say this? Let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know.
Let's start with Black mom biracials, right? Like zooming out from the children, I think we as like a Black community oftentimes prefer or
We as a Black community, she's going to educate you. She's going to educate you, let you know. You know she's academically inclined, of course. She's got the nose piercing, right? That's the kind of soldier, that's the badge of intersectionality, right? So she's going to let you know. She's going to educate you guys, right? Let's listen.
preference, this idea of like a Black woman being with a white man. It suggests that this person, this white person, is like flouting kind of typical societal ideals and is respecting and like relishing the idea of being like with a powerful Black woman. And I think part of the excitement there too is the idea or
A powerful Black woman. What if it's a powerful white woman? I'd love to see that language used and respect with white women. But you have a lot of women like this who have white moms. They don't have good relationships with their white moms. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But that's kind of the root of why some of these individuals, they go so hard in the social justice work and just identifying as Black and praising Black women so much. And then, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we're going to get into in the future.
or understanding that the children of that union will be raised by a Black woman. So these mixed Black biracial children will be raised by a woman who prioritizes their
Again, she said mixed Black biracial. It's an oxymoron. You're saying they're mixed Black but biracial. Well, what the hell are they? Are they Black? Black people have two Black parents. They phenotypically look Black. You have a lot of this confusion out here where they don't even know what the hell Black looks like or what Black is. She said mixed Black biracial. What that if they're biracial, they're not Black. By definition, they're something else. Call them biracial. I know that's an innocuous term. A lot of you people, it's socially acceptable. I get it. Over here, I'm the guy where it's just mulatto, mulatto, mulatto. The whole mission here of me on social media is to destigmatize the word mulatto. And I've been very successful for my own basically standards for the past 3 years. My whole goal is destigmatize the word mulatto. Make it so where these mulattoes are proud to claim the word mulatto and identify as mulatto. Because if you run around here and say, I'm biracial, right? Like the channel Biracial Lounge, whatever. Like you claim you're biracial. Well, the first thing they're going to tell you is, well, wait a second. There's multiple ways of being biracial. You could be white and Asian. You can be, and that's why would they have like mixed raced faces? I think the page is called on Instagram. I covered them a couple years ago. But then again, they're LGBT, and that's the whole thing. And the mixed race, and it's ambiguous. It doesn't mean anything. It can mean anything. It's open to interpretation. That's the whole point. It doesn't center mulattoes. It centers LGBT. That's the whole point. When you use those broad terms like biracial or mixed race, it can mean anything. But when you say mulatto, it hits different. It centers the mulatto. This is a person with one white parent and one black parent, or two mulatto parents. Period. No exceptions. There's no room for ambiguity. So let's continue on.
Blackness and like gets them comfortable with the idea of being Black and involves them with the community and the history and the tradition and the ideals. And so that person isn't kind of like tragic or like stuck between worlds, or
So that person isn't tragic or stuck between worlds. Stuck between worlds. Instead of taking the good from both worlds and developing a new independent identity in destiny that serves you. See, that's too difficult for these people to do. It's easier for them to kind of learn a script. Like for her, when I'm listening to her, the way she speaks, and we get it. Like the dark-skinned black women in the hood, they're gonna call her white. You speak white. That's what they're gonna say. Her jargon, her. So it's like, and she's speaking from it's a script. It's obviously a script. We already know, like I mentioned, like the uniform with the nose piercing. Now, I'm not trying to like hate on this woman or anything. Like I'm just pointing out the obvious signs and signals. You guys can see this and you're like, okay, you know where she's coming from. Like this is the social justice warrior playbook. If she wants acceptance amongst black people, this is the kind of rhetoric she has to spout. And she's going to sit there and throw you guys under the bus and say you're tragic, stuck between worlds. My whole position is, look, seek the wholeness. You're both. You're just as European as African. You're a whole new independent entity. People out here who are against you, they're not for you, they're against you if they want to tell you to pick a side. When someone tells you to pick a side, they're your enemy. They're not, they want to have dominion over you and control over you. That's the point, is I'm trying to tell people, look, you need to have a safe space. You need to have a network. You need to connect with people, find your tribe. Everybody else has their tribe. Everyone else has their quote unquote side that they picked or was picked for them. They want to force you into a label that doesn't fit you and maneuver you into this subordinate position. To me, I just never accepted that. I was never comfortable there. When I started navigating more black spaces, I started getting deeper into the rhetoric and I started to see at the bottom of everything, once you dig deeper, there's a hardcore anti-mulatto conspiracy theories that are pushed. And I took a step back and realized, oh shit, the deeper I go into this stuff, this Afrocentricity, it's like there's hardcore anti-mulatto rhetoric. They look at us as like we're their biggest problem. They literally call it the mulatto problem in Chancellor Williams' book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, which they have coined the Afrocentrics as their Black Bible. Just like with the white nationalists, you have the Jewish question, right, in Mein Kampf. But with the black supremacists, you have the mulatto problem. So I've already been through this whole process. Okay, I've already university graduate. I've been through the whole process. I asked questions, navigated spaces, did research, traveled, all this stuff. And what I found as a mulatto man, the deeper you go into this, they look at you as a threat. They look at you as being a problem because you advance higher in all of their organizations. I'm stumbling over my words because this is a very deep subject that we're obviously going to continue to cover here, but I'm just glossing over the surface with this kind of academic, I guess I can say here, this kind of SJW, this TikToker who wants to preach to you guys and, don't center yourself. You got a white mom. Don't center yourself. You need to, center everybody else. No, we are not altruistic people serving other people's agendas. We have our own agenda. We have our own destiny. And we acknowledge that. And don't try to gaslight us and insult us by using the term tragic. And she's a mulatto herself, right? And but using the term tragic for us, we're stuck between two worlds. Like we get it. You chose to be black. That's how you identify. That's perfectly good. But don't jump on TikTok trying to act like you're gonna check us. Because I didn't even know about this individual. It's a mulatto woman who shared this video with me. I was like, okay, let me cover this. This is what I do for fun on the side, right? But like these people pop up all over the place and they got credentials, they're in academia and all this stuff. Like you do not represent the mulatto body politic. You do not represent the heartbeat of mulattoes. You do not represent the mulatto consciousness. You're in no position to speak for us. You can provide your commentary, but guess what? We're going to critique it, analyze it, review it, and let's let the public decide. What does the public think? What do the mulattoes think? Not these fake ass wannabe mulattoes with their 15% or 30% quote unquote colonizer DNA, like cosplaying as mulattoes. What do the actual mulattoes think? You guys tune into me. You guys watch me. What do you think? It's you guys. Like you guys have the voice. I'm nobody special. I say this every day I hop up on here. I'm not special. Never claim to be. I have a voice. My job, my goal is to give you guys a voice, the mulattoes. You guys have a voice now, right? So let's continue on with this.
Kind of profiting from this biracial identity in a harmful way to the Black community. And I think anecdotally, when we see these like biracial Black children with Black,
she said, profiting off the biracial identity at the expense of the Black community. See, it's that subordinate. They willingly acquiesce into this subordinate position to serve Black people's interest. It's like this altruism that they promote. Like, it's very disgusting. Like, are you guys all going to sign up for that? I know the males with some balls, the men, the masculine men, they're not going to sign up for this. But who will sign up for this? Well, the LGBT, lesbian or bisexual, mulattoes, or liberal minded, yeah, they're going to sign up for it. I'm not saying all of you guys. I'm not throwing all of you under the bus, but I'm saying the ones who are more susceptible to that type of rhetoric and falling in line with that altruism for mulattoes to serve everyone else without centering themselves and having their own pride in who they are. The people who are susceptible to that mostly are going to be LGBT, even if they're male or if they're female. If they're LGBT, those are the ones who are going to be more susceptible to that. And because what it is, they're going to relinquish the whole entire mulatto designation, mulatto identity, mulatto plight consciousness. They're going to relinquish that. They're going to acknowledge, yeah, I am mulatto, but what are they going to say? That's a bad word. I'm a mixed person. I'm biracial. Hey, that's the first clue you know exactly where this is going, where they're going to put their sexuality at the forefront and or intersectionality. They're going to put all this other crap at the forefront and they're going to ignore the reality that you're in this position now. You're asking these questions. It's because you're mulatto. You're stuck between two worlds, but you're in a very interesting position that should benefit and serve you. There's so much beauty and good that can come from it. Focus on the positive, the upliftment, the cohesion, bringing people in, developing ourselves instead of like this negativity where just give ourselves in altruism, give ourselves to Black people and We have to serve them. We have to prove to them like this. They self-sabotage. They want to maneuver themselves into subordinates. That's what's very disgusting and despicable for me. And the outlet, the vehicle they're using is academia. Like they want to maneuver themselves into subordinates. So like why? Why is it on you to uplift everybody else but not yourself? Why is it that you don't want to center yourself as a mulatto? Why not? Oh, you're special. Everybody else gets to be special. Why can't you be special as well? Why can't you be proud to be mulatto? Why is it that you want to promote black people above your own interest? To me, it's very despicable how people fall for that. It's only mulattoes who fall for that if they've been programmed in this manner. Like no other race or ethnic extraction falls for that. They're not going to convince Asians to put black people above themselves unless they're LGBT. Let's be clear. They're not going to convince white people to put black people above themselves unless they're LGBT. That's the common theme there. Nobody else falls for that unless it's LGBT. Then the whole idea is they want to get away from race. It's just a social construct. Okay, it's just a social construct, but when you need a bone marrow transplant, guess what, buddy? Or gal, whatever, you're not going to be able to rely on your black brothers and sisters because they're not going to be a genetic match for you. You mulatta. Yeah, you're going to need a mulatto or a mulatta literally to save your rear end as a genetic match if you need this serious surgery and bone marrow transplant. Yeah, so all that whole race as a social construct is thrown out the friggin' window when science hits you in the face. So just want to, be firm and lay that out there. Let's continue on.
mothers, they're typically raised very well. Like the moms themselves don't really mess up in these seismic ways. The kids know how to do their hair. They are raised in the black community. They understand about their history and their traditions, and they identify themselves as black. I just think also the kids know who they are. There's like less of this, like, oh, I don't know where I fit in. Like, I don't know what my racial
See, over here, the Mulatto Vanguard channel, the people over here, we're all past that. You have some newcomers. Yeah, people subscribe every day. They unsubscribe, and I love it. You unsubscribe, but you guys, even when they unsubscribe, they still watch me. That's the beautiful part. Like, I don't really care if you subscribe or not. The most important thing for you guys, you hit the like button. That's cool. But you guys, you're engaged in the conversation. That's the most important thing, as I have you guys engaged. I have mulattoes who are over here commenting, engaged in the conversation. That's the most important thing. The subscription, I don't care. Because I could have, my website or my Patreon or whatever other platform, Substack, which by the way, I'm going to promote it. It's actually in like several hours. My next article, my new article will be released the first of every month. I'll promote that tomorrow, whatever, little bit later on. Focusing on this right now. But I don't really care about the subscription because there's multiple platforms, websites you can subscribe to. I can monetize, etc. That's not, the the most important thing is that the community, we have a collective of people, a collection of people who are engaged in the commentary. That's the most important thing.
identity is. Like there's less of that. There's more like confidence in the idea of like I'm black and I have a white parent, but also can't be
That's an oxymoron though, guys, isn't it? Well, I'm black, but I have a white parent. So it's like the blackness is a political statement for them, which means that's political, means that's action. And that's where they fall into this altruism. They always have to be the ones at the forefront, like a Colin Kaepernick is like a female version, right? They have to be at the forefront fighting everyone else's battles. But the same people she's fighting for, they don't have to fight for her. When the going's tough for her and because she's going to probably take the position. I'm not trying to single her out. I'm just, she's up here talking. So it's the truth. The same could be said for me. you know, on some pro black page, I was made aware that they made like a hit piece video on me. I don't know how many views or whatever, but I don't even care if they're not mulatto. Like, I don't even care. Like, if it's a mulatto channel that has some numbers, I might look into it. But if it's a black channel that's ran by mulattoes and they're hating on me, it's like, well, your audience is black. I don't care. Like you guys, you don't have any authority over here. Like I'm only interested in connecting with mulattoes with this channel, with my social media branding, Mulatto Vanguard, period. This idea like I'm supposed to care, some outsider, even if you're mulatto, but your whole branding, your channel is all black people. You got thousands of subscribers or viewers. It's like, bro, like you have a black channel. I don't care. Like I'm not speaking for them. My whole position here is I want mulattoes to have a voice. They're trying to silence you and pressure you from every friggin' angle to just focus on black people and uplift them. As this individual you see on the screen, where she's trying to maneuver you guys into this altruism to serve black people's interests. So I'm like, well, you have your own needs. That's what I'm saying. Like, she can fight all their battles and SJW stuff, but once it's hard for her, once they hate on her for having a white mom, once they tell her she's light skinned, she benefits from featureism, they kick her out. What the hell is she gonna do then? Where is she gonna run to? She's not gonna run to white people. She's been hating on white people to benefit black people, right? And now it's sad when these people they hate on mixed people, but you're mixed yourself. You're gonna hate on mixed people. Where the hell are you gonna run to? I've been doing this content for 3 years now, almost, in about 1 month, couple months. It'll be like 3 years, and it's like I see these mixed people who think they're gonna throw me, a mixed guy, under the bus to benefit for their black audience, whatever. And their black audience, they come and go. And they're looking very stupid out here, throwing me under the bus for black people, and they're mixed. And then now they're still out here, plugging away on social media, and they're stuck. They don't ever understand who their audience is. They're supposedly a mixed page, a biracial page where they cover biracial topics, but they're throwing other mixed people under the bus to benefit their black audience. And once their black audience turns on their ass, it's like, who are they going to run to? Not the white people. And they're not going to run to mixed people because we got the receipts. We just let them know, hey, wait a second. You're calling us tragic. You're saying that we're anti-black and all this crap. I was like, wait a second. We don't want to support the shit you're trying to pull over here. No. It's an interesting situation.
Forgotten is that like when black women enter into interracial relationships and they know that they'll be having children, they typically like choose partners who will be responsible interracial partners.
They typically choose partners who will be responsible interracial. She's pro-black female, and she has to overcompensate because she has a white mom. Like, this woman is, I'm sorry, she's full of shit. She's saying black women are choosing responsible partners. Now, I'm not throwing all black women under the bus. I'm not an absolutist. So let me be clear, because I know I got a lot of softies and sensitive people who want to kind of misconstrue and kind of twist the words I'm saying. But if you look at numbers, there's a very large illegitimacy rate within the African American female population, meaning that a lot of them choose partners who are not suitable fathers to raise. Like, they choose deadbeat dads. They choose guys that they're not going to be in long-term relationships with, and they end up becoming single moms, where it's kind of like promoted within the culture, right? Again, let me reiterate, I'm not saying all. I'm not trying to throw that stereotype out there because I know a lot of you softies are going to use that as like clickbait and spin it, and that I'm framing, no, I'm just saying that it's very common. I'm not saying all, but it's very common that a lot of these individuals, they do not choose good partners. They're well known around the planet for not choosing good partners. But you have this social justice warrior, white mom biracial, who's going to tell you, oh, well, when black women choose interracially, they're very good at selecting and picking their partners. She's not fooling anybody over here. She can fool the general audience over on TikTok and the knuckleheads and liberals and all the other stuff, okay? And I'm just saying liberal because that's like, who's gonna fall for this crap? And I guess it would be the uneducated liberal or the liberal grifter who knows they can like pull on the heartstrings of Blackistan and get them to support whatever they're selling. But yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not that I don't know this lady here. I'm not trying to hate on the woman, whatever. It's just her ideology, what she's pushing, the rhetoric. She's way, incorrect and way out of bounds with this. She really is. When we rewind that, do you guys hear that? She's saying that when black women choose interracial partners, they choose the right ones. We're like, really? Do you have any evidence to support that? Because I'm looking at them. They're in the same position as us. That's why they tune into my page. I have so many black mom biracials who tune into my page around the planet too. I got people from the UK, from England, who have black moms, and even in Brazil who got black moms and white fathers. They tune into my page. So I'm like, no, we're all navigating towards the same circles, asking questions. So we have to challenge some of these, quote unquote academics who want to frame it one specific way that benefits the Afrocentrics and black identity, but it throws the rest of us under the damn bus. We're sitting there like, wait, what is it? Wait, what? At least bring some facts or statistics or data. You're going to say when black women date interracially, have families interracially, that they raise their children to be like pro black or something. I'm like, wait, what? Really? And just the best example you can use to counteract this crap is like Candace Owens, because they love to use like Candace Owens. I don't like her. She's annoying. Okay, she's a grifter. She's very annoying. There's a lot of things about her that's very annoying. I don't like the grift. I'm not a fan of Candace Owens. But you look at her, she has a white partner. She has kids. So she's a black woman with mulatto kids, okay? And do you guys honestly think she's going to raise her kids to be super pro black? You tell me. That's just one example. There's others as well we can get into. But it's like, let's cut the crap. Stop trying to push this narrative, okay? This person here, they're using this type of clickbait argument because on TikTok, it's very popular to shit on biracials with white moms. That and these people, this person, and she has a white mom, and they know it. They know that they can get a lot of clicks and views to virtue signal that specific demographic, black women, these divestors, to throw biracials under the bus. They got white moms. We're sitting here like, bro, there's no need to do this. There's no need. And we can easily dismantle all your arguments. And it's just basically we're doing this shit at midnight, we're just bored up here, talking some ish or whatever. For me, like, I don't care. Like, a lot of ladies shared this with me. This is community service for me, but it's easy content. But it's like, this is easily, we can dismantle this. I don't understand why they try this. You can fool your black audience. You got a lot of reach on TikTok. For me, I'm not even going to waste my time on TikTok. They're going to shadow ban, censor me, delete it. I already know the game. I got to find out where I have an impact in, and then, utilize that. Let's continue on.
Black and I have a white parent. What also can't be forgotten is that, like, when black women enter into interracial relationships and they know that they'll be having children, they typically like choose partners who will be responsible.
They typically choose partners who would be responsible. I had to rewind that because I'm like, girl, you are tripping. And I'm not saying all black women, I'm not painting a stereotype, but it's like, how the hell does she know with her nose piercing? How does she know? That's just the narrative and rhetoric they push in those black lesbian spaces that's connected with academia. BLM, Black Lives Matter, social justice warrior. That's the rhetoric they push, the intersectionality. They're the victims, they're special. The men are bad, toxic masculinity. You have a white mom, black dad, you're bad. Like, that's the shit they push. They need to be challenged on this. And they are right now. So let's continue on.
Interracial partners, right? Like, a black woman, anecdotally, of course, will pick a white partner who is going to help positively raise this black child.
The oxymoron, though, like, the black woman with her, she's gonna pick her white child, or excuse me, the black woman's gonna pick her white partner to raise her black child. Like, it's like, this is very confusing. Okay, that's not a black child. If the black woman picks a white partner and they have a child, that's a biracial child. That's not a black child, right? And even the whole seed of your argument, the whole I'm tripping on my words. The whole seed of your father argument doesn't work, right? In that whole configuration. But they still try to push this one drop rule BS to sit there and say, like, well, the black mom, she'll choose a white partner. That white man's gonna raise that child to be like pro black. How though? How can a white person raise a mixed person to be pro black? How does that work? I love to see these examples. I think, you know, you see a lot of that with the old timers. They're kind of aging out, but there was a generational nuance. They were kind of forced to in a lot of ways because of white aggression. That's what it was. Like in the 70s and 80s, depending on the environment, of course, because of white aggression, the white aggression kind of forced a lot of these mulattoes to just identify it as black, is like a political statement and defiance from white aggression coming off the civil rights era, like the 70s era, right? I talk to these older mulattoes. That's basically what it is. You know, they were maneuvered into kind of just being pro-black, marrying, finding a black partner, and etc. That was their response to white aggression. But we look at it today, where it's like, what is your reasoning behind this? Like, you're gonna get some brownie points or what? What do you get out of it? You throw yourself under the bus, hate on yourself to uplift someone else. Why is it that that's asked upon for you? Why is it that nobody else has to do that? That's the thing with me that trips me out. Why is it that they don't have to do that? They don't have to uplift you and defend you and promote you, but you are like maneuvered to do it for them. What do you get out of it? Nothing. Okay. Yeah.
who will not contribute to anti-racist ideals or like make that child feel weird or upset or sad about their blackness. Next, the white mom biracials, of which I am a member.
She's a member of the white mom biracial, but she's gonna be talking shit on all because she's special, because she has the nose piercing and she's intersectionality, LGBT, so she's special. She's gonna teach us something, guys, on TikTok with her TikTok video, not with her articles and publications and any of that stuff. No, not her academically sourced, cited, peer-reviewed journals. No, she's not gonna teach us any of that. No, she's going to make her little TikTok video and tell us about how we have to center blackness. No, it's not happening. And I'm not special. I'm one dude. I'm telling you, these other mulattoes, they're already doing channels now. Shout out to these men, mulatto mindset, Michigan mulatto, even this lady, beautiful mulatto woman, the mixed lens. You have these mulattoes, their consciousness is growing. I'm not special. The whole point, my whole position here is these other people, they're getting a voice. They're going to grow. Their voices are getting amplified. They're going to put material out here. They're going to grow. They're going to be way larger than me. That's the goal. I'm not special. The whole point here is everybody, our voices are growing. It's inevitable. I already knew this 3 years ago. All they have to do is maintain this consistency. People are going to catch on to this. Our voices are going to grow. That's it.
Anecdotally and across this app and social media, we're very familiar with the idea of like white women fetishizing black men and fetishizing this idea of having mixed babies. In these situations,
Okay, but it also works in reverse. Why doesn't she bring that up? Because she's black female identified. She doesn't want to bring up the fact that, yeah, there's black women who fetishize white men. They have a term, they call it zaddy. You heard of that term, zaddy? That's a term that's fetishizing white males that black women will utilize. Yeah, so in reverse, you have that as well. You have black females who fetishize white males, and they'll call uh white males zaddy, and they want mixed kids. And these are dark skinned black females. She's not going to mention that. She's going to gloss right over that and throw her own white mom on the bus. See, I'm sensing that there's probably some conflict with her and her white mom, which it happens a lot with a lot of these mulattoes with white moms. Man, this is, yeah, I've seen this for years. Like I said, I'll get into that in the future. That's other material I can cover. I'm not a female, so I can't speak from the female perspective, but just my own general observation as a male. Like I've seen this, that there is conflict. There's a lot of these women who have some issues with their white mom. And this is why I'm suspecting, why does she come out here and like position herself as this kind of educator and social justice warrior and centering blackness and throwing white mom biracials on the bus, but you got a white mom. Like, what's the whole deal here? Like, are you in good standing with your white mom? Why are you doing this? Like, I'm very suspect of this. Okay.
These white mothers raise their biracial black children around white people, and they typically don't really kind of introduce them to the black community or black culture or black history or black ideals. And so these kids are fundamentally confused, right? They're ethnically, aesthetically, physically.
She says that these kids are fundamentally confused. Wow. Wow. What's holding up her identity? Like wrapped in blackness. I think my research personally, I'm gonna have to, because I didn't even look at her channel. Like I said, the Mulatto lady shared this video with me. So let me come up here and talk about it, right? I already have my own audience over here. Easier for me to do that. And then I gotta kind of look into this because there's something else going on with this individual where she's calling all of us confused and stuff. So it's like this has got to be like LGBT or something. There's something else going on here. This is the only thing that can make sense because why are you calling us confused? Because we're not black identified. What's the point? I don't, like it doesn't, that identity is fraudulent for us. It doesn't fit us. We don't like, and we're not going to be activists out here doing all this work for other people. They get free labor and freebies, and we're sitting here like, what? There's no return on this. We're not subordinates over here. And it's no hate to black people. It's no hate to white people. It's no hate to LGBT. It's no hate to these other groups, which is we're not working for free. We're not giving you guys our validation and uplifting you and centering you. We're centering ourselves over here. But they have an issue with that. They want to call us confused. And see, that's what I'm telling you from the beginning. It's not black people that are your biggest haters. It's not white people that are your biggest haters. If you are mulatto identified, your biggest hater is going to be the black identified mulatto. I've said this from the start of this stream. This is what it is. I knew this from day one. This is always what's going to be. They're going to have their kind of agents, provocateurs, so to speak, who are going to come up in here. They're going to sound very nice and polished with their delivery, but they got something else going on. It's not just this pro-black stuff. It's this gay stuff they got too. They got this LGBT stuff that they're intertwining, this intersectionality with their black stuff. The black is kind of like the cover they use, right? But underneath that blackness, and because she's pro-black female, even though she got a white mom, right? She's pro-black female, but it's just there's something else there. And the dead giveaway is that nose piercing. It's this LGBT stuff. See, yeah.
Different than their mothers and the communities they're raised around, and then they slowly kind of like absorb this anti-blackness rhetoric. In these situations where the white mom isn't like steadfast and super responsible about raising her children, these kids are raised and internalize like a lot of anti-blackness. Like they don't know how to do their hair, they don't know how to decenter themselves in situations around other black people, and it is ultimately harmful to the child.
Now you see what she's saying. They don't know how to decenter themselves around other black people. It kind of sounds like that stuff with the Exoticals United about decentering men, which is very like lesbian talk. Decentering men. What type of shit is that? Like, you're never gonna hear me, a man with dick and balls, masculine dude, a straight man, come out here and talk about decenter women. Fuck no. It's all about women over here. I'm a straight man. This channel, we're straight men over here. Of course, we got some gay people listening. There's a guy who's a bisexual gay guy who's like my biggest stalker. He has a whole troll account stalking me, harassing me, and spreading slander on me, right? So there's gays who listen to me and stuff, and they're my biggest fans, sadly, very despicable, but they go about it a different way. But like this whole decentering stuff, like decentering men, it's just very lesbian, like you're never going to hear that shit from me, decenter women. And so that's very questionable. But she's talking about decentering yourself and like what uplift blackness. It's like this like altruism where this virtuous, like they want to humble themselves. Like it's very robotic, isn't it? Is that how they're academically trained, like the programming for them to like just humble themselves and push gay black females at the forefront. That's intersectionality. That's all it is. I look at the woman, her pierced nose, the rhetoric she's spouting. It is intersectionality, which puts black gay lesbian females at the top of the pyramid and everybody else underneath it has to serve them because they're the most disadvantaged. That's all it is. That's why she's talking about these biracials are confused because they don't decenter themselves and put black people above them. Like, who is going to sign up? Like, her audience is all going to be black. You see these biracials out here, these mulattoes, their whole audience is black. That couldn't be me. Even right now, look at my chat. I got some people, not a lot to my standards. I got some people listening, tuning in live right now, but I'm looking at my chat. I'll get your guys' comments. And I'm already looking at, I got DC, the Owl Show, Mulattoes. I got Elroy Swartz, Colored Man. Okay. So I got mixed people in it's my core audience, right? But I guarantee you that it's not going to be the same for her. The lady on the screen, her audience is going to be primarily black. Like, you go, girl, you right. They got a white mama and they anti-black. We're like, okay, let's see how this grift is going to work out. Are you going to sell them some hot sauce? You're going to sell them some animations and some shitty fake music. You hired some guy to sing songs for you and you're going to sell it to them, market it as your own music. You're going to do that. You're going to sell some shitty hot sauce or whatever, put your label on it. Someone else made it for you. You're going to sell some crap to these black people. Like, are they going to buy it? That's the best part about it. Are they going to support it and buy it? No, they just want to hear you talk crap about someone else, talk crap about, black males or white mom biracials. They want to hear you talk crap, but they're not going to support your endeavors, are they? I don't know, man. This is very fishy. Like, the way she's positioning herself to like hate on white mom biracials, and she's trying to tell us we have to decenter ourselves. She's saying it's a problem that we center ourselves, that we created a whole space, a whole social media network to our platforms, basically to promote ourselves and center ourselves. She's saying that's a problem, right? But everyone else, they're allowed to center themselves. The Anglos, the Bantus, the Chicanos, the Chinese, the East Indians, everybody can center themselves. But for you, you're a biracial with a white mom, all of a sudden they got their agents out here. They want to humble your ass. And I got to be the bad guy because I push back. I'm not being humbled by you. You don't have the credentials. You don't have the wit. You don't have anything. Okay. We've already seen this. So, yeah.
Because like they do like lack this confidence in who they are, and they also have those like proverbial feelings of, oh, I'm so tragic, I don't know where I fit in.
She said they have these proverbial feelings of they're so tragic when I feel. And like I said, over here on this channel, we already know where we fit in. We're mulatto over here. We're done with all this binary games of playing this side, that side. We're done. We're critiquing both of you. We critique the Anglos, the white nationalists, the incels. We critique the Bantus, the black supremacists, the racists. We critique all of you, both of you. So we know who we are. We're firm in our identity over here. So it's this person who tries to act so sophisticated and smart. I'm going to do more research to see, well, what's her core audience? When I look at her, examine her comment section, who's like agreeing and acknowledging her in her comments, I guarantee you it's not going to be mixed people, mulatto people. So she's this propped up, black identified, biracial with a black audience. Like, you don't speak for mulattoes. We have to let that be clear. If you are mulatto and you have a majority mulatto audience, then yes, you are a voice within our space. But if you are mulatto, okay, and your audience is primarily black, you don't speak for us. As long as I'm up here, we will challenge you. You don't speak for us. You need to get a mulatto audience if you want to have some juice around here. So, but this is TikTok, so, yeah. And she's got her little cat there. Okay, that's cool. Nothing against cats. Just yeah.
Actually, I am a white mom biracial. Like I was raised.
Yeah, we get it. You already said that already. You're a white mom biracial, but you're throwing the rest of us under the bus. We get it. You're a tool. You're a tool for the gay, black, lesbians. You're a tool. We get it. And we're disgusted by it. Nothing you're pushing is sophisticated over here. We've seen this rhetoric before. You can call it homophobia. You can call it anti-blackness, but we're challenging your rhetoric. And the public is awaking and seeing exactly what it is. You're not going to throw us under the bus and not get challenged. They're too comfortable doing that. They're too comfortable throwing us under the bus without getting challenged. And it's not this woman specifically, her. I don't even know what the hell her name, the channel name is. Like I said, a mulatto lady shared this video with me. I think, yeah, I'll do some more research later, but it's not even her personally. I don't even care. I don't know. I just the nose piercing is kind of a dead giveaway, right? But it's just the rhetoric she's pushing is straight up black lesbian intersectionality. And that's what I'm challenging is that rhetoric she's pushing where we have to decenter ourselves. It's the white moms who raise mixed kids and then they're the problem and all this. This is all black supremacy and LGBTism. We can't have a community with this type of rhetoric floating around and being normalized because their whole mission is to destroy us. That's it. And they're going to be very subtle and nice about it, right?
in a predominantly white situation with a white mother. And my parents were
And she's being used. That's the whole point here. Like I said, it's not nothing personal against her, but with the philosophies and what she's spouting, she's very robotic with it in the academic language. Like she's being utilized by those feminist, black, racist, intersectional feminists. She's being utilized by them to attack the rest of us. That's an issue. And that's more damaging than if you see like a black female who's talking this crap like I don't know who the names you guys the YouTubers like a Chrissy. She does like colorism stuff. I don't really hear the intersectionality stuff. There's a one, I forgot her name. She's like a Africa. I think it's I am. No, it's not. I covered her like over a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. It was a while ago. But there's some dark skinned black female with like dreadlocks and stuff. I'm just double checking my notes here, or not my notes, but my channel for prior live streams. I don't remember the lady's name, but there's a lady who she really pushes that because she's a lesbian black female, right? And that's the thing when you look at it with the lesbianism, where they push that intersectionality super hardcore, and that's what they're using these mulattas now to push this and to try to throw the rest of us under the bus. See, that's how you know they kind of have an advantage at the moment. But because they're not used to being challenged, they're not getting challenged at all. That's the issue. Once more mulattoes start challenging them, you're going to start to see a shift. I'm just one dude. You know, I'm one guy out here. So for them, it's like all they got to do is paint me as a bad guy. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Mulatto Vanguard. Well, who the hell else are you going to listen to? None of you motherfuckers got balls to jump up here and talk this shit. Who else are you going to listen to? You're all going to be quiet. Y'all going to be quiet. You're going to be in the clouds. You're still going to listen in. That's the best part, you know? Even if these little fruity people try to convince you, their troll accounts, don't listen to him, but you're still going to listen. Because who else are you going to listen to? Nobody out here is mulatto centered. Nobody. They're pro black, pro LGBT, intersectional feminist. If you want mulatto content, you tune in, you subscribe to the Mulatto Vanguard channel. It's very simple. Okay. You have nowhere else to go. Please tell me. I'd love to. My whole goal is I want to see you guys grow. Let's check this. Let's
like
finish
very
this.
into color blindness, which is like a story for another time, which was ultimately harmful to me. I didn't know how to do my hair. I didn't understand my
You didn't know how to do your hair. Your hair looks very straight. Even if it's curly, it's better. I mean, I love the curly haired, but like your hair looks pretty. You don't have the same negroid textured hair. You're not the same as them. You can lie all you want, but we're here for you. Just that the programming you got, we're not buying it. And you're not going to shame us. We don't care. They call us everything in the book: racist, anti black, misogynist, all this. Okay. And then they see my channel, my chat is like, I have all these females who support me. So what are they all pick me's? Are they all like, no, these are women who have their own relationships, their own husbands, their own marriages. They have their own situation. They support the content because they know it's true and the message resonates with them, with their truth. So they can't call all of you pick me's. They can't call all of you incels when my core audience, these men who listen to me, business owners, they got their own families. Like they can't label all of us pick me's and incels or anti-black, right? That stuff, it doesn't work anymore. But they'll still try it because that's all they have, right? They have nothing else. So they're always going to use that.
identity. I was very confused. I like totally felt tragic about it. And it wasn't until college where I like learned about being black
It wasn't until college where she learned, yeah, where you got the programming. Liberal, communist, LGBT, intersectionality. Oh, what a shocker. It wasn't until college to where you learned. Yeah, we're so surprised. Yeah, you got the nose piercing. It wasn't until college where you first started to muff dive. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're not surprised. This is nothing new. This is not our first rodeo. We've seen this before. It's nothing personal with her. It's just the philosophies and rhetoric she's pushing. This is black lesbianism. And they're trying to act like they're virtuous, like they give a damn about mulattoes. This is not a mulatto centered discussion that this person's pushing. They want to demonize us to promote black lesbian intersectionality. That's a big problem. And this is just one person, but a lot of them have been pushing this. They've been pushing it years, way before I even hopped up on here, and they're going to continue to push this. This is just a younger version. They're always going to try us and push this crap. That's why it's important that we have voices that we can combat this stuff. So I think that's pretty much it. And I'm going to finish this off.
Like, I was raised in a predominantly white situation with a white mother, and my parents were like very into colorblindness, which is like a story for another time, which was ultimately harmful to me. I didn't know how to do my hair. I didn't understand my identity. I was very confused.
She didn't understand her identity. She's very confused. Okay, yeah, good for you. Well, now you understand your identity. You're a black woman, but you have a white mom. Sorry to break it to you, but black women don't have white moms, right?
like totally felt tragic about it. And it wasn't until college where I like learned about being black and history and culture and literature and like
It wasn't until college you learned about being black. I guarantee you she probably went to a white school. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You had to go to a PWI, a predominantly white institution, to learn about being black. You new blacks are so funny. And you new mulattoes who think you're black. So funny. You think you're black, you know. You had to go to the white man's university to learn about being black with your white mama. You can't make this shit up. You got a white mom. You had to go to a white university to learn how to be black. No, but it's just gay shit, guys. I'm sorry. Calling it what it is. Your nose is pierced. You got your cat there with your glasses. Like you're trying to mask it as if you're an academic. It's just intersectionality. It's feminism. It's lesbianism. This is all it is. You don't speak for mulattoes. As long as the mulattoes who got some balls and we analyze this, we're gonna question and challenge this.
was around other black people, where I was able to like unpack and do all of this unlearning.
That's it. That's a clip I got. And shout out to the mulatto who shared that with me earlier. Shout out to her. I'm gonna drop the invite right now. I got a bunch of you guys commenting, but I'll drop the invite. If you guys want to jump up on the stream and challenge anything I'm saying, if I'm out of bounds, you guys feel like I'm homophobic, you guys feel like I'm anti-black and I'm a quote unquote racist, let me know why you feel that way. I'd love to hear. So the floor is open. I have the link dropped. So you guys can go ahead and hit the link and let me know what you think. Yeah, so nobody's gonna hit the link, and that's perfectly fine. Gave you guys a couple minutes to see exactly if the link is still dropped, so it's all good. No worries, guys. No stress. The Owl Show says this is why I note that biracial people who choose to identify solely as African American are still going to be seen as different. Yeah, excited to hear your thoughts on this. I saw this woman. Yeah, I don't know much about her as a mulatto lady who shared it with me. She wanted me to go into the comment section of the video on TikTok. I was like, oh no, that's where I get in trouble because they'll flag all my comments and you're being mean and you're against the community guidelines. I'm like, really? For matching people's energy? But see, they'll shadow ban you, but yet those racists who are anti mulatto, anti white mom biracial, like their comments stay up there. So I'm just like, I know where I fit in and where I have a strength at. So I'm gonna just stick to what's beneficial to me. Just notice the attitude discussed in the video is that mulatto or biracial people profit from African Americans. Thus, they are seen as at fault. That who they are is somewhat untrustworthy. Yeah, that's anti-mulatto rhetoric that we're untrustworthy. CNN did a story on a mulatto, white mom, black mom who needed a bone marrow transplant. That's how I found out about mixed marrow. Yeah, because we're not biologically the same. If we can't rely on our black parent for a bone marrow transplant, I'm black and I have a white mom. Yeah, promoting, and she's confused, but she's calling the rest of us confused because we're not pro black and pro gay. She's trying to say we're tragic and we're confused. What the fuck, man? Like that's the crazy thing. she's but she's like, I'm black, but I have a white mom. Okay, I guess, But I'm guarantee you her audience is mostly black female. It has to be because there's no way you can push that crap with a straight face. Black women slept with Ari Nigel, aka the Sperminator guy, in bathrooms just to get a mixed baby. You make a good point. Shout out to you, DC. Exactly. I think I've heard of that guy. So they slept with this white guy in bathrooms because they just want to have a white baby and or excuse me, a mixed baby. Because what DC's pointing out is that the white mom biracial woman who I just covered, let me bring it up.
Biracial.
This individual, she was trying to say that, oh, that we know white women fetishize black men. They want mixed kids. And she's throwing her own damn family under the bus. That's how pitiful. You can't trust her. Okay. But she's going to say that, oh, that white women fetishize black men and have mixed kids. But what DC's saying is true. And I've already said that as well earlier on the stream, where it's like, look, you legitimately have black women who fetishize having mixed babies. That's a fact. It's very obvious out here. They want to live vicariously through their mixed child. The pathology within a community is very interesting because you'll have black women if they want to have a mixed kid, but they want the kid to be a son, right? They want to live vicariously. They want the kid to be a son, but it's the reverse. If there's a white mom and a black dad biracial, the black dad, the black parent, they want the kid to be a daughter. They look at the son as competition if it's a biracial son, right? They cry about the NBA. There's not black men anymore. It's all biracials, National Biracial Association. They cry about that like bitches, right? And that's a reverse, like I said, with when it's black female. I'm not saying all, but it's very common where they don't want their child to be a female, a biracial daughter, because they look at it as competition. They rather have a male. They're more happier in that circumstance, but they still want to parade their child around as this is my mixed child, my biracial. These people, they want to push their pathology onto you, and I'm not having it. And they can throw out their little token biracials out here. We're gonna dismantle them, challenge them, and pack them up and get them up out of here. They're not mulatto centered. We're gonna get them up out of here and use them for material for our channels. That's it. That's all it is. Good point though, DC. Appreciate you. Yeah. Like you literally have people out here, black women who are just like black males. They want mixed kids and they fetishize it. So don't try to let them trick you that it's just one-sided. It's only the black males. No. So black females too. We're here to provide clarity. Shout out to you, Elroy Swartz. Explain white aggression. Google is free. How does that sound? Yeah, I had a couple mulattoes tell me They couldn't be mixed. They couldn't be mixed race or identify that way. Only black. Yeah, good for them. I had a couple mulattoes. Yeah, I hope it's working out for them. Good. Yeah, but the only difference between light skinned black people and mulattoes is a mindset. No, it's the genetics. If you're light skinned black, you're not mulatto by definition. It's you put right here light skinned black people. You're black people. That's your dark skinned brothers and sisters. You light skinned black people. And you said and mulattoes. Mulattoes are not black people. So you fucked yourself up right there within your own damn sentence. Light skinned black people are not the same as mulattoes. I know I have to be the bad guy out here, okay, to add this layer of specificity, and that's okay. I was going to hurt your guys' feelings one way or another eventually. There's a difference. I've said that from day one. A lot of you guys, you're newbies. You just found my channel because other people promoted me or shared or whatever, and you come over here. But it's like, look, I've been saying this from day one. Nothing new. Okay. But yeah, you just kind of screwed yourself up within your own damn words. You said the only difference between light skinned black people and mulattoes is the mindset. No, it's more than mind, it's genetics. Because if you're light skinned, you're black people, yeah, you're still black. Mulattoes, that's a different configuration, European, African. But really, we are all the same people. No, we're not, because you just said light skinned black people and mulattoes. You're not including us in the same group, even within your own words, in your own sentence. So you fucked up right there already, buddy. I don't know what you're trying to do. You guys always come over to this channel trying this stuff. Like, go try that with some other channel. I don't understand. Like with me, like, you should know by now. It's not gonna work with me, bro. Like, and you can do your hit piece. You're just gonna promote me and my platform. That's all you're gonna do is promote my channel. It's like this is gonna still be an operation. We're only growing. This is only starting right now. So this isn't full time for me at the moment. It could be any moment, and it could grow drastically if I really start putting some money into this and effort and hours into this. Man, it's just I don't know why you guys try this stuff. Just go do your own thing, man. If you identify as black, go start your own shit. Stop trying to, sneak us into it. Try to pull mulattoes in to serve your pro-black agenda. It's not gonna work, bro. Not as long as I'm up here. Yeah, it's despicable. You guys try that crap. It's not true. Light skinned people might be mixed race. Yeah, they might be mixed. I'm not saying they're not mixed, but they're not mulatto. And they don't have our shared consciousness. So there's that. Mulattoes are mixed race people outright in a number see themselves. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Al Show for that. Some of these black passing mulattoes are angry, bitter, and resentful. Yeah, mulattoes. I'm highlighting my own comment because I saw the guy's comment earlier. I just had to put that comment in there. Like, get out of here, bro. Black supremacists tend to refer to mixed people who don't claim blackness as confused. Phil Scott said that he is very concerned about the confused, which is why he's obsessed with mixed people. Yeah, Philip Scott is a numbskull. Okay, when I got out of my pro whack phase, I unsubscribed from all of the grifters. And Philip Scott's so pro black, he married a white Mexican. That guy should have no legitimacy, but sadly, a lot of black people have the lowest self-esteem on the planet. They hate themselves, and like so they're looking for people like Philip Scott to make them feel like special victims. So they subscribe, they listen, they tune in, they need that reassurance that they're special victims. The Philip Scott subscribers I'm talking about. I'm not saying everybody or all black people, for all the haters who want to, spin my words and stuff. But it's like, yeah, if you're subscribed to that guy, like he's married to a white Mexican, how is he pro-black? But he wants to talk shit on mixed people. Yeah, because he has a mixed kid. He wants to program his mixed daughter to identify as black to serve black people. That's what they've been doing. That's what they all like. Tariq Nasheed, the rest of them. That's what they do. They want you to be more pro-black than them. They're gonna try to hate. More on that later. I don't want to get sidetracked, but it's so despicable the type of Jedi mind tricks they try to play on mulattoes. Yeah, and they push that whole "you're confused." Nobody's more confused than them. Like that's the sad part of it. We just can't entertain them. That's why we need more mulatto spaces. We can't entertain them in their spaces because they want us, they want to use us for numbers and influence when we don't need them. They need us more than we need them. Why can't these mulattoes and other mixed people figure that out? Like, why do you guys subscribe to them? Why do you guys watch their material? You don't need them. They're not giving you any information. They need you. Figure it out, guys. Yeah. And he put, yeah, he said light skinned people are somewhat mixed race, but they identify as black. Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, I acknowledge that they're mixed race for sure, but they identify as black. And so I can't accept them. Like for me, I mean, there's other people who accept you. When I first found these online mixed spaces, especially on YouTube, they included everybody. They use a term MLS or golden people, MLS. They're like, we're mixing light skin and blah, blah, blah. But I really quickly, right away, I was like, wait a second. They're not the same as us. They're going to pull us back in to serve dark skinned people. They're not the same as us. Okay, mulattoes are different. We have a different agenda, different destiny. And so I've been branded as a bad guy, right, in the space because that extra layer of specificity. It's like we're not the same. That's it. So yeah, and they identify as black people, and that's why we can't claim them. They're not the same as us. They consider black people their dark skinned brothers and sisters. Well, what the fuck? Like mulattoes were not the same as them. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the bad guy. I get it. But I've seen this stuff from day one, and it's like my goal is to give mulattoes a voice. That's my mission here. Yep. And then Al shows being firm. Mulattoes are not black. Period. That's it. End of sentence. Right? Yeah. That's it. There's no further clarification needed. Most of the mulatto people I grew up with who had a white mom were raped. Look at this guy. And weren't the cause. So this guy seems like he's anti-white. He's like painting a narrative. This is just a sock puppet troll account, whatever. As long as you don't slander my name or get all uppity, then I'll allow you to stay. But if you get uppity or like slander my name, I block you, get you up out of here. Very easy. Don't care. Create another sock puppet account. I'll just block that one as well. I know. There's a fruitcake, okay, who creates multiple. He has a zillion sock puppet accounts and he stacks his own likes. He creates a community post talking shit about me and he likes his own damn post and all his troll accounts. He stacks his own post with likes to make it appear that people are liking his lies about me. And it's him with his 20, 30 different sock puppet accounts. And I've already examined this guy in other like comment sections and other channels where he posts a comment and he's challenging someone else and the other person like ratios him and then all of a sudden like within a few hours he has like 30 friggin' likes and he has more likes than anybody else in the damn comment section. I'm like, this guy has a zillion YouTube accounts. He switches between different accounts and stacks his own likes of his own damn posts and comments to make it appear to the public, the uninitiated, that he's actually getting engagement, that people agree with him. Like, bro, you're fruity, sad, and pathetic. Like, we already see this game, bro. It's very disgusting. Okay, light skin, black stuff. I don't know. You guys are just basically kind of sidetracking the discussion. See, it's funny because the whole discussion here, white mom biracials, the whole discussion is biracial identity, mulattoes. Then we got this random guy who jumps up in here talking about this light skin shit. Go back to the dark skins, work it out with them. That's your people, that's your brother and sister. Work it out with them. Why do you show up to the mulatto channel? Why do you show up to the biracials coming over here acting like we're supposed to give a fuck? You're not super chatting us, cash apping us, giving us money. Why do we care? We get nothing from you. And you want to include us into your little situation to suck off dark skins. I don't understand why you people show up over here with their troll accounts. It makes no sense to me. You're in the wrong spot, bro. This is a mulatto spot. I don't get it, man. You guys are annoying. Imagine how toxic blackness has to be if it literally causes you to throw your own mother under the bus in order to appease it. Really disgusting. Yeah, a lot of these white mom biracials are very fucking disgusting. They will throw their own white mom under the bus to appease black people. I never really see it in reverse. Well, of course they're not going to, because if they have a black mom, they're trying to fit in with blacks. You know, they're not going to throw their black parent under the bus. But yeah, you see these white mom ones, like where the hell's her black daddy at? You know, and I guarantee you that person, like, they don't have a good relationship with their white mom. They're throwing her under the bus to fit in with black people. It's very disgusting. And it's very, I mean, you did have a story. There was a lady, I covered it like a few years ago. Literally, I think it was like 2022. So 3 years ago, the fall, when I was barely starting getting out here with these live streams. There was a lady, and she was an academic. She had a TikTok channel. I think she deleted it. Mulatto, biracial lady who had a black mom, white dad. Her dad was filthy rich. I think like a multi-millionaire. And this girl, mulatto woman, a university college student, she lived in the same castle that her white father had. I forgot what business the guy had, but he was rich, millionaire. He ended up dying. And at the guy's funeral, she was talking crap about her own father, calling him a Trump supporter and a racist and all this crap. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? I covered it. It's on this channel. It's one of my earlier live streams. You got to go back in archives. It's like 2022, I think. If I think I still have it public, I'm going through the whole process of re-editing everything with these channels, because I built them up for the past few years. It's like I got to edit it and clean up some stuff because, that's how it goes. But yeah, I covered it, and she threw her own white father on the bus, who helped paid for her college, provided her with a friggin' castle to live in, helped her out. She threw him under the bus to appease, I don't know, like gay, intersectional black people on, the whole TikTok crowd, academic TikTok pipeline, and biracial, pro-black, pro-gay pipelines like TikTok and university. It's yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing out here. The black mom, white mom ones, either or, it doesn't matter. It's a thing. A lot of these mulattoes searching for identity, and the predators within the LGBT pro-black spaces, they basically are going to eat you guys alive. They know you guys are looking for a place, and they're basically going to hunt after you. Seriously, that's what it is. Because why else are these people popping up? Like, and they're not honest with the fact that they're like LGBT. They're never honest. They never, like, they always hide that because they know most of the public, they have spaces for that. They have LGBT spaces. Why don't they just go there? But they want to jump in the pro-black space and throw biracials on the bus. We're like, we don't claim you. You're not one of us. Like, you're not mulatto identified. What the hell? What are you doing over here? Someone shared this clip with me, so that's what I was covering. You put here, your cousins are mulatto. I'm light skinned, and we have the same black grandmother, their father. I don't care. This light skin shit, man. Please go somewhere else. I don't care, man. I'm not even gonna read any more of your comments because you're annoying. That mulatto girl from that stupid show Mixed-ish was now rainbow. They always pushing the altruism. Yeah, altruism. And they want you, it's to maneuver you to be a subordinate. You notice black people never have to be altruistic towards you. White people never have to be altruistic towards you. No other ethnic or racial group has to center you. But you literally had that mulatto female. I can share it again.
Let's
So white mom talking crap about her own white mom and other biracials. She literally said in the video clip, decenter yourself. You're confused because you don't center blackness. I'm like, bitch, get out of here. Get up out of here with this crap. She's talking about decentering yourself as a biracial person because you got a white mom and you want to center yourself. You're damn right. I got a lot of fucking confidence. What the hell? I feel like it's a healthy ego. I do my best to share and to connect with people. I promoted a lot of people, even like with now, I kind of hold back on it because I've been burned by too many people where I'm not really promoting people's stuff like that anymore because I've kind of already learned my lesson. It's a lesson in life, but I feel like I'm very giving with the community service and all this like charity, I guess you can say, with all this, yeah, I'm very giving, but it's like this altruism. I want to give to the right people, man. That's the whole thing. Is I want to give to my people, my tribe, where I know that it's going to benefit because they're going to give onto others. So I'm carefully curating this. I'm not just giving to anybody, but they want you just to specifically give to black lesbians. And we're not having that over here. They're in the wrong spot. They need to stay on their university campus and do that and get their white funding, like BLM, right? BLM's black lesbian, pro black, trans, all that stuff, right? But they have white funding. So that's the rhetoric I'm getting from this individual here. Like they want a piece of that academic kind of liberal funding, that pie. I just don't know why they're even trying us over here in our mulatto spaces. We got small spaces, but I'm not buying into all that. They're not gonna come up in here and tell us any of that stuff. Yeah, I thank you, Al, for saying this. I appreciate that, Al. You said they don't belong here. This is a space for mulattoes. Your comment previously was way out of line. Yeah, appreciate you, Al, for holding it down, being a biracial voice, which you've been a voice for biracials way before me. I saw a comment that you put on Facebook on some biracial page like friggin' 8 years ago. So you've been in these discussions on the internet way before me. So I applaud you and salute you. I see you, yeah. But I appreciate you what you're saying to this guy, Victor. I'm not even gonna highlight any of his comments because this guy, like I said, I'm not if he says anything out of line, I'll just block his ass and he'll probably create a whole new troll account. But as long as he's respectful to me personally, my integrity, you guys can go back and forth in the comments, whatever. That's all on you guys. But I think she got shunned by her mother's side, so she feels that blacks will accept her. Yeah, I hope so. Maybe the blacks will accept her. Yeah, if they can use her. Okay, now I gotta block this punk Victor. Little bitch boy came up in here out of pocket. So I just saw a comment he put. I gotta block that bitch. Victor, little punk with his sock puppet. Shout out to you, Tensley Van Hendricks. Yeah, you're right. Basically, she probably got shunned by her white mom. That's typically what happens. So now they're hating on all the white mom biracials. But she's special because she can muff dive and she's got her nose piercing. And yeah, okay, let's see where she's at in the next 10 years. Let's see. Yeah, once all these mulattoes start waking up, creating their social media, once we really get this popping, let's see where she's gonna be at. Yeah. She's SJW pandering to the worst people. Black people accept me. What is my community? And of course, it comes with challenges. But yeah, you're the NOLA guy from New Orleans. They accept you. Why? The funny thing is, why are you over here? If that you light skins run up in this shit. If you're so accepted by black people, please help their community out. Please help out their homelessness problem. Help out the illegitimacy rate problem. Help out the crime problem, the youth unemployment. There's a lot of unemployment. Please help them out. But look at you. Look at where you at, boy. Look at your position late at night. You're up on the Mulatto Man's channel. I'm living high on the hog. Okay, I can travel the planet, which I am. Okay, I'm doing good. And you're up on my channel late at night. But black people accept you. Well, help them out. They need all the help they can get. But see, when I look at you, one of these light skinned blacks trying to say that mulattoes are the same as you want to pull us back in to serve black people. And it's not working out for you. Because one by one, I block all of you people. I don't care. This is not a page that centers you and validates you. And none of you people have the fucking balls to jump on my panel and challenge me. The link is dropped, right? It's dropped. Let me pin it. I don't think I pinned it because I'm looking at a lot of your guys' comments. Let me pin my link. So I usually, when I'm feeling it, I usually have the link drop. It's pinned now. None of you people have the fucking balls to run up on here and jump on the panel and challenge me. But you want to pull mulattoes back in to serve black people. And you put right here, black people accept you. That's a beautiful thing, man. I'm not hating on you or black people. They accept you. That's great. But my question is, why over here? What's your agenda? You have an agenda. Why over here? Like, this is not a space that centers you. You get that? But see, you have an agenda. You're over here to sabotage us, to get us off our square, to serve you and your Afrocentric agenda. And you're wasting your time. You're just gonna give us content. And I think you follow me on like all the damn platforms. I don't get you people. I think you follow me on like on Facebook as well, if I'm not mistaken. I apologize if I'm mistaken, but I think so. You follow me on like Facebook or some shit. Or, I don't get you people, man. You act like it's gonna be different any other platform. It's just, you know, yeah, yeah. You said, is the dread black woman queen Amadaya a mulatto guy called Mike TV makes FBA videos all day saying black or native, not African? I don't care about all that stuff. That's not mulatto centered material. I don't care. The mulattoes who suck off blacks is very plentiful on social media. Okay. But if you're talking about mulatto specific content then, or material or dialogue, then I will analyze it. She's talking about black moms as great mothers. Yeah, she doesn't have one. I know. Isn't that the saddest part about it? She's a white mom, biracial. She hates herself, right? That's a form of self-hate, right? And they feel like for them they have to do labor, free labor, give black people like literally slave labor to fit in with their group. That's how pathetic it is for a lot of these mulattoes. But I feel like the ones who are susceptible to that, they're basically queer. They're queer females who are susceptible to that crap. Where how is it that she doesn't even have a black mom, but she's talking about how black mom biracials are going to be raised to respect like black culture. But I'm sitting there like, well, Candace Owens is a black mom. Jesse Lee Peterson has a black mom. Clarence Thomas has a black mom. Like, we can go down the list of all these black conservatives. They got black moms, but it's like they don't give a damn about black people. And not only them, the politicians, but even like these black people in the hood, these gangsters and gangbangers and criminals, they all got black moms. We're like, what the fuck? Did they raise their little devil offsprings to be like pro black? No. They raised their children to like commit crimes against their own people, abuse their own women and shit. A lot of these black people, man, who talk crap about biracials and exoticals, when you examine these black people, they've been harmed by their own damn people more than anybody else. All of them. They've all have given public testimonies about being abused by black people, their own parents being abused by black people. I've listened to these people enough. They're doing these live streams on these exoticals and these mixed people and, oh, you don't like black people, you don't like black people, blah blah blah. But this same person, like her abuser, is a black person. That's why I'm sitting there like, what the hell, man? They got all this smoke. They think they're big and tough. They want to talk about mixed people, biracials, but yet the people who've done them dirty the most are other black people. That's why you know this is some like envy shit, right? That's why you know. So I got someone who jumped on the panel, and I don't know if I want to let you up. Let me see if I can kind of do something. I'll let you up. Let me see. She's free to move to the ghetto and start breeding for people. Yeah, she'll be a breeding, what they call like a Pookie incubator. Yeah, she'll help breed for them, right? Let me see what I can do. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I got you on the panel. KRS520.
All right, yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I've been listening to you for about a year and a half now. I'm one of these light-skinned black guys, but I'm not. I didn't come up here, to be confrontational or anything. I talked to you before actually,
But if you're
because what it was is it's like in the last 2 years of my life, I was questioning this whole light skin identity thing. And, a lot of your content and different things, man, it really has me thinking like, definitely needs to be a change in the culture. And I definitely think mixed race people definitely should start thinking more about, their place in society, as well as a lot of lighter skinned black people. So I definitely want to thank you on that note, for a lot of your work you're doing, because I don't see this nowhere. Like things I hear you say and some of the other people say, these are things that I've thought throughout my life, but I never really, seen it in action. So, I do want to thank you for this great content, man. It's like music to my ears.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for that. The kind words. My question to you is, you see when you analyze social media, all the rhetoric they push and the hate and the open slander against light-skinned people, all the light-skinned jokes. How does that make you feel? Because if you were to say anything about somebody who's darker skinned, especially if they're female, if they're a dark skin, they're a black female, if you were to say anything about them, they would try to get you canceled. They try to dox you and harass you. Like they'd really be against you, right? But they're very bold jumping on here, hating on men. You're a man, you're a male. They're hating on men who are lighter skin. Like, how does that make you feel? You see the imbalance out here. I'm not going to continuously see this and find this acceptable, but there's a lot of people who do. But how do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, no doubt. It makes me angry. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I had a brother, he was darker skinned. I remember him calling me lighty and things like that. And yeah, definitely when I see these light skinned memes and things, it upsets me. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I'm 37 years old. I remember back in high school, man, this was like 2002. It was like after school one day, we were in the gym, and I remember like all these light skinned girls were standing there on one side, then it was like a bunch of dark skinned guys on the other side. And I was sitting in the bleachers looking down, and I'm looking at it, and like I'm noticing like all these light skinned girls in these dark skinned guys' faces. And for the first time in my life, that's when it all clicked to me that, you know what, this is some bullshit. Like I'm just looking at, I'm like, first off, these guys are fucking ugly. Like, what are they over here talking to these dudes for? And then as time went on and things transpired, we seen guys like R. Kelly, Diddy, uh, it's just we just seen got dark skinned guys taking L's over and over and over, and it upsets me because it's a dynamic where these lighter skinned women feel like they gotta get a dark skinned black man to be more authentically black and shit.
Right.
Well, that's just what I pick up. Yeah, that's just what I picked up over the years. I picked up is some shit about being authentically black. So they feel like as a light skinned dude, you're not authentically black. However, like, I mean, I have a really bad relationship with my father. I don't even talk to him no more, and this was a dark skinned dude. But it's like I've been hearing these stories over and over and over, like why these guys keep messing with these women, and like guys like me, like we don't like you, like we don't even want to deal with you, and then you be the worst fucking fathers ever, man. And that just make me think, like, bro, we just need a whole new culture because this zebra, I call it zebra dating. It's always the guy got to be black as hell, and then the woman got to be light. Like that shit gotta stop. And
I
yeah,
think it's
man,
the
that shit does
environment.
me.
Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I think it's the environment. I think it's the environment you're in that promotes that, honestly. But I do want
Yeah,
to
and it
mention, yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I wanted to add in as well because you mentioned like a lot of these dark skinned guys been taking L's. You mentioned R. Kelly and shit, and then the other cat, I think P. Diddy. Yeah, P. Diddy only got some status because he's got money. The dude's like a fucking billionaire with a B. He's loaded with cash. So you see him with Cassie. You're like, well, yeah, he can get that caliber of female. He can get very attractive women. The dude's loaded with cash, right? But and another dude who took an L I mentioned earlier on the stream was the guy Tyrese, right? He took a fat L, like, and like I said, I kind of feel bad for the guy because he went through his kind of child custody thing, and he wanted to see his daughter. He's, his mom or baby mama didn't, child custody, so he was like crying, on camera. I was to see a man cry. I was like, oh, and no hate against Tyrese, but like they're taking L's. A dude like that's taking fat L's, right? But yeah, so a lot of them are taking fat L's,
Yeah.
but the dynamic you mentioned as well, like with the dark skin guys and the light skin, I think it honestly, I think it's the environment thing. I think that's the main thing. Where I grew up at and where I've navigated, even moved to different areas, like I would always see that for sure in San Diego and Los Angeles and Las Vegas, in different various cities. But I would always, in different corners and different pockets, I'd always see mixed guys with mixed women, mixed guys with Latinas, mixed guys with white women, and vice versa. I would see mixed women, gorgeous, top notch mixed women with mixed guys, or mixed women with Latino guys, etc. So, like, I would see a blend. I would see a mixture of that, pun intended. I didn't always just see dark skinned guys with lighter skinned women, but I don't know. Are you, what area are you from? The West Coast? You from Los Angeles? Where are you from? The East Coast or what?
No, no doubt. What you're saying is correct because I'm originally from the East Coast. I'm from Virginia Beach originally, but
Okay.
right now I live in Southern Arizona. So I
Okay.
see what you talking about now. But when I was coming up in Virginia Beach, I didn't see that. I saw what the opposite of what you say. But what you saying now, that's what I see here. I see a lot more. I like to call it lighter skin friendly
Yeah,
relationship because in places like Virginia, South Carolina, those aren't really light skin
it's the
friendly places.
South. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
South. Yeah, the dynamics, because it's very binary with the white and black. So it's like a lot of the lighter skin or mixed people, they're kind of forced and kowtowed into blackness. They're maneuvered that way. So there's a
Yeah, but
lot
you
of
gotta be like a bitch in the you like a bitch in the black community in some of these places. Like they,
you
like they don't treat you very good.
they
I mean, I've been around, yeah, yeah.
well, that's what they want to enforce, that kind of protocol to kind of maneuver you to be the punk or to be like the smooth R&B guy and all.
Yeah.
Like, that's why that
Yeah.
Kwame Brown tried to check Matt Barnes. He was telling him, "Why don't you be like Drake? You be a smooth talking R&B guy. See, you want to act tough. See, I'm gonna get this dark skin energy on you." Like, he really got like amped up. He got really, his feathers got, what they call that, fluffled or whatever. I don't know. His feathers. He got really mad at Matt Barnes. These two NBA dudes, Kwame Brown, Matt Barnes. He analyzed that dynamic. He was bothered by that dude because Matt Barnes is all tatted up, and he looked at him as trying to act tough and shit. But it's like, I think that's like, yeah, that's some Southern shit. I honestly think like the geography is important in the United States for the audience that's listening, because I got people in like South Africa and the UK who tune in as well. They don't understand like the difference. Like, if you're in the East Coast or West Coast, these are more progressive liberal areas. So the racial politics and dynamics are very drastically different than the southern part of the United States. I feel like in the South, the southern part from Florida all the way to Texas, it's like it's very anti light skinned male, very anti biracial. It's very binary where it's either white or black. And so we would understand the collective with an African American group is they have opened up the door for mixed women to be black, but they don't extend that same kind of privilege for the mixed man. Like, there's a hazing process, as you stated. They want the mixed guy to be kind of a punk, or they want to bitch him out or something like that. Then they'll be like, okay, you're cool. But yeah, go ahead. You make a really good observation.
Yeah, I noticed that. So yeah, like I said, I'm in Southern Arizona. So yeah, here what I see here, I do see a lot of I see a lot of mixed race guys getting on here. You know what I'm saying?
With
I see a
Latinas.
lot of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And I see a lot of lighter skin. I even see, I ain't gonna lie, I see light skinned couples here. I rarely saw in Virginia. I'll see a
That's the
light skinned
South.
guy, a
Yeah.
light skinned one, and I look at them and I'm like, clearly they both in that black category. And I'm like, man, I don't even see that back east. So, definitely I think I think these messages are somehow seeping in, man. I think it's reaching some people, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, my audience, my draw is very minimal. The effort I put into this, so I don't expect it to like get it across to everybody. But for me, it's getting across to like the right people that I want to witness and see this. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, man, like I say, I'm from California, the West Coast, so like to me, it's always been normal to see like mixed people with other mixed people, men and women. Like I've been to marriage recitals and different ceremonies. It's always been normal to me, even before I had this consciousness, like over a decade ago, when I was still like more so black identified. I like even before I was in this consciousness, I would still see like friends or acquaintances, they're mulatto, they'd have a mulatto wife, mulatto girlfriend, partner. So I was like, I kind of always grew up, I would say, understanding that, yeah, mulatto people generally are going to be attracted to each other, but it's just the environment plays a critical role in a lot of people's decisions for sure. So as a West
Oh
Coast dude,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. I got a cousin who he's from Florida. His mother was white. His father was my uncle, so he's mixed race. But he's in and out of prison and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he's down there with them. You know what I'm saying? In Jacksonville and shit. So right now he ain't doing too good fumbling in that black space. But guarantee if he was out here, he probably live a whole different life. Yeah, Jacksonville, places like that aren't good
he's talking
for
about Florida. So
biracial.
Florida's not good market.
Well, not in a place like Jacksonville. Too much. Too many niggas, man. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, man. It's just too much nigga activity. Way
Yeah,
too
for
much.
sure. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with the Florida market that much, but I've been around in Arizona a bit, and I know for sure, like with the Latinas, and yeah. So that's for a mixed dude or you're a lighter skinned dude. I know the Southwest, the West Coast is a good market for lighter skinned dudes, without a doubt, or international or the East Coast. I just feel like the South is not the best market for mixed guys or lighter skinned guys. I honestly don't think so.
it's
I feel
not.
like
It's
the
definitely
West
not.
Coast is where it's at. Like you're gonna have action. The mixed women are gonna like you. The Latinas are gonna like you. The white women are gonna like you. It's just you have more options, and it's the environment. People have to navigate and research these environments. And I've been around different
Oh
places.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've come out of places out here, man. I've come out with like five numbers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about it. I get a lot of success out here, but I remember in the South, like I remember I was in South Carolina one time. I was trying to talk to this girl. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" She just ignored me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting now. I feel like an asshole. You know, so then I go talk to another one, same thing. And by the third one, same thing. I'm like, okay, they got some bullshit going on in here. But see, that's the type of stuff black women do. But then I'm out here, it's like, you get your asshole woman every now and then, but not too many. You know what I'm saying? And I think lighter skinned guys and mixed race guys need to wake up because what happens is a lot of them stay in these areas, these black areas, because that's all they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I heard a story not too long ago about a guy who got shot and killed in Atlanta. And they showed his picture, light skinned dude, and he was from somewhere else and he moved out there to do his rap career and this and that, and he ended up getting robbed and killed. And I'm thinking to myself, see, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about right there. You going out there because you so hyped up by the hip hop scene, and you come out there, they looking at you like, oh yeah, let's go get them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, these a lot of light skinned dudes just got to rethink their position, man. Because if If things don't change, then we got to come to a reality that look, this is it until we die. You know what I'm saying? And the next generation is gonna do the same bullshit over and over and over. So things got to change now. That's why I say I'm glad. You know, when I see your work, for light, he was. I don't know if he's still doing it, but I came across him a while back. You know, guys like y'all are really, really putting in the work out here, man. We definitely need it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I would say the authority as far as the light skin black male perspective is like a light skin historian. I think he's definitely the authority on these topics. He's really good at his analysis and observation. I'm subscribed. I like his content. I like basically
Yeah, I seen him before.
every
Yeah,
video he
light skin
drops.
hair.
I like every video because I like how he puts things into perspective. He articulates the plight and the viewpoint of light skinned black American males, I think, better than anybody, and speaking up for you guys as well. But like you said, I really like what you said. You said how it's like if things aren't changing, you have to reevaluate your position, your situation, because it's going to continue the next generation. What happens is, it's sad to say, is some of these guys, they settle for less. They settle for like the scraps of what they can get. It's like, fuck that. You guys should get the cream of the crop. You guys should get the best women, the best jobs, the best situation. Like, you guys cannot settle. They're trying to maneuver you to settle for like the leftovers and shit. And that's an L. And I think like what you're saying is they
Oh,
have to,
yeah.
a lot of these men, man, they, honestly, they have to basically reanalyze themselves in their situation. If it's not working out in your environment, if you're in the South somewhere, in Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, wherever you're at, you got to move to another environment, reanalyze the situation. There's better options out here. Like, that's the thing. Like, don't accept a shitty deal. And that's what I tell my audience. I tell the mulattoes, don't accept a shitty deal. They want to maneuver you to be a subordinate. Do not accept it. Get the best deal possible. Make sure you get something that benefits you. Because look on the lady on the screen. And I covered this video already. But it's like this lady, her whole proposition was you have to decenter yourself. You're a biracial with a white mom. You got to put other people above you. Decenter yourself. This is completely an antithesis to my whole operation. This is against everything I promote. Over here, we're about promoting mulattoes at the top. We say we're the best, we're the most beautiful, we're the most talented, we're the most skilled, we're the most virtuous, we're good people, and we have a space for us to promote us. And I'm unapologetic about it. That's it. Like, and it's not against other people. It's not against any other group or race, whatever. Which, if people talk about us, we're going to challenge. They're talking negatively about us, we're going to challenge their rhetoric. And like I've always said, I'm said on this stream that the issue is the main problem is you're going to have people who are mulatto who are going to be against us. And hence why I did this video with the lady kind of on the screen where she's mulatto. She's got a white mom like a lot of us here, but she's against us, right? And then because there's a intersectionality, pro-black situation, and you have to understand with intersectionality, they put darker skinned people at the top. So even though they're lighter skinned, like the lady here, like they're gonna put darker skinned people above themselves because in their eyes they're gonna say colorism, that they're the most disadvantaged. So for her eyes, she's like, well, they have to uplift the darker skinned black females above everybody to even the playing field. That's the rhetoric they push. And I just don't want them to come over here where you know, and try to push that crap because I'm completely against it. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know too. It's good that you standing firm on what you're saying, you know, because definitely, definitely need somebody with a solid foundation out here. Because it is, you're right. It's a lot of it going on. You know, I've seen it over the years, and even me myself, you know, dealing with the pro-black spaces. A lot of times you do catch yourself uplifting dark-skinned people's images, and you totally forget the fact that, damn, you're upholding the image of a person that doesn't even care about their own image. You know, it's like I came across that girl Michi X a while back. I don't know if you heard of her.
Oh yeah,
Michi.
I know
Yeah,
her.
Michi X. Yeah, I came across her years ago, like when the whole thing was going on with Umar Johnson. and all that. And I didn't even know till later everybody was coming out like, oh, well, she's a mixed race person and this and that, or biracial, you know. And yeah, that, stuff like that had me thinking like, damn, we come out here and do all this. It was another guy from France years ago. This was like back in 2011. He was mulatto. He was from France, and he was making pro black videos about Egypt and things like that. But then he was going back and forth with other guys, and soon as they got in a disagreement, they started calling him a white boy and a half breed and all. Then the real feelings came out. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? But the whole time they were with this dude, they were rocking with him. Yeah,
That's how it
everything was
works.
cool. Yeah, once they disagreed, now oh man, he's a white boy. He's a half breed. Yeah. So you definitely gotta be careful, man. And another thing too, and I'm gonna say this because I do want to see this video or whatever. But another thing too, the yellow stuff, man. Guys gotta stop that. It started with people like they called Malcolm X Red.
Hmm.
Um, then in NWA, you had the guy DJ Yella.
Yep, yep, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then you got this rapper Yella Beezy and the guy from King Yella. These guys got to stop. Stop taking the word Yella and trying to flip it and stuff like that.
Well, it's
That's
gay. It's gay. Why would a man call himself Yella? Like it's for women. Like High Yella
right.
is for females. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and so they took it and tried to say, because they would call you Yella out of disrespect. So now they trying to take on Yella. Like I would never do that. Yeah, that's another thing. So that's a PSA out. Any light skinned guy or biracial, do not use the word Yella to refer to yourself. That's not cool. You know. But but yeah, go ahead, man. And then like I said, I'm glad you do have a firm foundation. Of course, I don't agree with everything you say, but I agree with most of it. And I'm still learning, and I'm new to a lot of this information. So I do want to thank you, and yeah, I look forward to whatever you have to bring.
yeah, well, I appreciate you hopping on. It's been a pleasure. But before you leave, since you did say you don't agree with everything I say, this is a great opportunity for you to share what you don't agree with. I'd really like to know.
I mean, obviously, just some of the things,
My
like I
tone,
said, it's a,
so my
it's a.
tone.
Well, I'm gonna explain it to you. I obviously see like just me coming in this space. I see it's a bridge somewhere in the light skin and biracial area. It's
Sure.
somewhere in there that was missing. Yeah, because if you look at the trajectory of American history, we didn't do what these other groups in the world did. We never had a breakaway. They tried to throw everybody in the same box, and then they had a separate category for biracials, but then eventually they scaled back on it, got rid of it, and then try to create like a whole nother black category where you can be light skinned or multi-generational, but you still black. For example, I knew a lady, she was like really, really light skinned, but she had straight hair, but she still claimed to be black. So it's like, but a lot of black people didn't accept her, so that's like the gray area that we in. So I mean that's pretty much just what I don't agree with, because we're not 100% on the same page, but we working out the issues as far as how we seeing that whole racial designation thing. So yeah, I'm not like, I said, I'm not mulatto. I had a dark skinned black father and a light skinned black mother who some would call high yellow or whatever you want to call it. But she would damn near be mixed race in a world like that. But so yeah, that's just where the disagreement comes in, just being from two different backgrounds.
Yeah, I respect that, and I respect your courage for hopping up on here. Not really courage. I'm not like a mean or bad guy or whatever, but no, I respect the fact that you hopped on here. You took the time out of your day, out of what you got going on, your business, to hop up on here and have this civil conversation with me. So you got all the respect from me. You're always welcome over here, and I appreciate that. So shout out to you.
No doubt, no doubt. Another thing I disagree with, I don't think I never really liked Drake that much. And I didn't like when Drake first came out, like I said, I'm 37. So when Drake first came out, I was about 20 in my early 20s. And I felt uncomfortable with him using the word nigga because, once again, I at this time I kind of looked at it as, I mean, as the years went on, I feel like we shouldn't use the word at all. But at that time, I was thinking more along the lines of if you're gonna use the word nigga, maybe you should be more authentically black. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just one another disagreement. I'm not really a huge Drake fan, but you know,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, I don't care. I don't use the nigga word myself personally. I'll only use it if I'm up here talking like I just did, right? If I'm giving some commentary and it causes me to, recite a verse or review material, if it's written down somewhere, whatever, like I'll only use it in that terms. It's not in my lexicon for me. But with Drake, I mean, that's like the whole marketing and, for his music. I get it. Yeah. I mean, the main thing is with Drake, for me, I understand that people are with this whole Kendrick thing. People didn't like him always because, he's kind of an outsider. He's a Canadian, and they didn't like that. They felt like he's soft R&B. He's trying to get into the rap, and I get it. Like I never really, when I first heard of Drake, he wasn't popular or anything enough for me to even dig him. Like he was connected with Lil Wayne and some of these rappers, like the Khaled guy, DJ Khaled, and I never really liked him with that whole, the Birdman, Lil Wayne, Cash Money, all that stuff. I was never digging that
right?
Southern.
Yeah,
I'm a West Coast dude, so I was never really digging that whole Southern connection like that. I do like Outkast from the South and stuff, but so I've always been like the West Coast rappers and MCs and stuff. But when Drake dropped the started from the bottom, now we hear, that was like the first, that was like 2014 or something around there. That was like the first time that like I feel like one of his hits really became like mainstream. And I was like, I like this track. I'm digging this track. And then that was like, yeah, 2014, 2015. But then like consistently after that, like every year he was dropping a song, like a collab. He had a collab with this artist, Big Sean, with Migos. This every year
Rick Ross and all of them. Yeah,
he was consistently dropping songs that were hits, that were bangers. And I was like, I like this song. This song's good. This is a good jam. I like his verse. I like the beat. So for me, it was like the consistency with him after I first heard that song, started from the bottom. Now we hear. But before that, because I remember hearing about Drake way back, and I never like picked up on it, just like as a West Coast dude. But what I'm seeing is with this Drake and Kendrick's a West Coast dude, and some of these people, you know, you even got West Coast guys. Like I heard like Corrupt, who's all talking about he loves Drake, it's his favorite rapper, but he's still rocking with Kendrick because of that loyalty to the West Coast and that stuff. I feel like it's kind of fraudulent. Like it should be a talent of the artist, but I know now with this Kendrick stuff and like with the whole K bots and the whole media apparatus, with the whole machine, with the NFL, the Grammys, the whole
right.
machine behind Kendrick, that this is all like to humble this mulatto biracial man who dares to be the best. And that's why I basically defend Drake in a lot of aspects. It's not for his like whatever he does personally behind the scenes. I don't know the man. He's just a celebrity. Like I'm not defending. I don't defend the guy. What his behavior behind the scenes, all this stuff, the accusations. I don't know. And I like a lot of his music. I just played his song for the intro. So he has good music. Is catchy. But it's like I defend him in a aspect because I know they're attacking him because he's biracial, but they don't want to be outright and blunt with that. Some of them will, like Rick Ross called him a white boy, Kendrick called him a colonizer. Some of these commentators are saying, well, he has a white mom in Canada. So yeah, some of these people, they're going to be outright and say they don't like him because he's mixed. But It's like, and that's why I got to defend the guy. Like, the thing is, what people don't like is the fact that mulattoes, we're defending our own over here now. But this is just the beginning. Like, I'm not special. I'm just one guy with a microphone and internet access. But like, this is the beginning. You're gonna see more of these mulattoes and
Yeah.
mulattas. I have a lot of women, a lot of female mulatta supporters. Like, we're going to defend mulattoes when it's necessary, when they're in the right. That's the key thing. When they're good, they're
Now
in the right.
notice this too with the Super Bowl, and they put Kendrick up there and stuff like that. I recently came to a conclusion that this hip hop thing, this is the image of the beast. Think about it like this. Drake didn't have the same image of these guys. Everybody in hip hop since 50 Cent had the same image. The chain, the tough, the macho man with the chain on and the guns and things like that. So it was like we went from like Kid and Play to Mace to 50 Cent, and now everybody is like a carbon copy of 50 Cent. So when somebody like Drake comes in the game, Drake is not another 50 Cent. Kendrick is another 50 Cent. Rick Ross is another 50. Everybody is just an offshoot of 50 Cent except for Drake. You see what I'm
Well,
saying? Now I know this is that's just elementary way of looking at it. Not really, but that's just like a little elementary way of looking at it. But
I
that's why
disagree.
no. I'm saying this is why they looking at Drake the way they do also because he's not really he's not the hip hop image per se. You
Well,
see what I'm
yeah, he's
saying?
not a black man. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah,
black.
he's not the dark skinned guy with the chain
Right.
on talking about shooting niggas and this and that. Like that's
Yeah.
not him.
Well,
So yeah,
it's
when
not
they
only.
put Kendrick up, oh, go ahead, my bad.
No, you're good. I didn't mean to cut you off. You're good. Go ahead. You were
Yeah, I was
saying about
saying, so when
Kendrick.
they put Kendrick up there, this is like, this is Jay Z and Roger Goodell and all of them solidifying, like, no, this is what we want. You know, they do the same thing with the athletes, like, yeah, we want a dark skinned guy running up and down the field, and it's like, that's
It's
what it is,
colorism.
man.
Yeah, in short words,
Yeah.
it's colorism. And because you mentioned, yeah, what Drake doesn't fit the archetype of black masculinity. For a dark skinned guy to be the role model, the masculine presence. That's why they praise Kanye. He's dark skinned. They praise, you said, Jay-Z. He's dark skinned. But these are like wimps. They're weaklings. Kanye and Jay-Z, they're not built like that. They're tough. I mean, they're, excuse me, pause. They're not tough. They're weak. You look at how they're built.
You right?
They got
Yep.
they got money. I think it would do it with 50 Cent. Yeah, he's got some muscle. He's packing, right? He's got tattoos. Yeah, I know he got shot, whatever. But 50 Cent is not versatile like Drake. The thing with they really hate Drake because he can rap
Right.
and he can sing. And what's his name? 50 Cent can't do that. 50 Cent, he's a rapper. I like 50 Cent. I'm not a hater. I don't hate 50 Cent. I haven't heard anything, suspect from him. So I can't throw shade at him. But I don't, yeah, like you said, Drake is not a carbon copy of 50 Cent, but I don't think Kendrick is either. Kendrick is some new, like, hippie shit. He's like the white suburban pro-black kind of marketing. They're marketing pro-blackness to white suburbia. That's what Kendrick is.
Facts. Yep.
When I
You
first
right. Go ahead.
to nerdy dorky white people, when I first heard of Kendrick, I'm a California dude, a California kid. When I from Southern California, outside of LA, when I first heard of Kendrick, it was because of white people, a Mexican dude I was doing jujitsu with, a white boy, and like that's when I first heard of Kendrick. And it's like, who's this guy? They were trying to promote him as if he's conscious and he's like the only real rapper. All these other rappers are fake. And that's what every generation they say that shit, right? You're a studio gangsta. And they're saying Kendrick's the real conscious. He has the heartbeat of the street. I've been hearing this shit for over a decade, 10 years ago.
Well,
As a
they
West
try to
Coast.
say that about Lil Durk too. Yeah,
But
I
the thing is,
feel you.
I don't feel like Kendrick is cut from the same cloth. Like, he's not a carbon copy of 50. Because yeah, 50's built. He's got muscle. He's got he got the storyline with getting shot. He's tatted up and stuff. He's got the gold chains. I don't really see Kendrick with the gold chains. Kendrick is some new type of marketing gimmick where it's just like BLM, Black Lives Matter, like woke pro-black type of marketing the BLM pro-black to a white audience to get money from white people. That's what BLM is all about, right? They're marketing black men getting shot to get money and funding for black trans and black LGBT. That's what BLM is. That's kind of Kendrick is from that same kind of apparatus where it's this fake hood persona. He's woke and conscious talking about slavery,
Yeah,
but his
yeah.
donors and funders are these white kids from suburbia who they want to learn more about like the black street life because he does poetry, poetic justice and poetry and all this shit. Like that's the marketing I feel like with Kendrick. I don't feel with what's his name, 50 Cent. 50 Cent, it's a whole different story. He's more like in the club, you know. That's the vibe I get. He does the gangster shit, like the Wanksta song. I like 50 Cent does the song The Wanksta and the candy shop and all this type of stuff. It's to me, it's a whole different vibe, different marketing. But yeah, good points though. Uh, as a West Coast dude, just my perspective, because obviously I like hip hop. I'm very eclectic. I like play the guitar. I like heavy metal, and I like classical music. I like jazz. So I like music in general. But this whole Kendrick shit, man, with Drake, like I said, I was never I like the first time I heard Drake was the starting from the bottom. Now we're here, and the thing is with him was just the consistency. He was collaborating with all these other artists, The Game, Rick Ross, The Migos, Future. His most poppin' tracks were collaborating with Future, and now look what happened. Future turned on his ass, right? But he collaborated with all these people, and the songs were popping. And it's like he just was consistent with it. So I'm like, you can't deny the guy's creativity and his work ethic. And he can sing and he can rap. That song he did with Chris Brown, No Guidance, where it's an R&B track, it's smooth as fuck. He's like, singing, and it's like the guy's very talented. So I know why they hate the man because he's a biracial man, he's a mulatto man,
Yeah.
he's talented, and they do not want him to represent black masculinity. And they've already lost the sports world. All these mulatto quarterbacks, they lost in football and the sports and NBA. In NBA and NFL, they already lost. The dark skin, like the mulattoes, the hybrids, the biracials, they are dominating the sports world. It's not going to end either. More of us are being
Okay.
born. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I was gonna tell you that's it. That's it too. Because when you introduce I like Drake into something like hip hop, feathers are gonna be ruffled. Okay, I noticed this years ago. This was years ago. BET was playing videos from NSYNC, right? Now this is before Justin Timberlake went over and started messing with Timberland and all of them, right? So they can't really blame anybody else. You know, they're constantly introducing biracials, white people to their spaces. Like I said, I'm 37 years old. One of the earliest songs I remember was a song by a guy named Snow from Toronto. Also, it was called Informer. I don't know if you remember. He said, "I lick your boom boom down." You know, he was a white dude. You know what I'm saying? But they were in reggae, kind of like the reggae scene and stuff, like Sean Paul and them. So yeah, anytime you introduce a Drake to a hip hop or a Sean Paul to reggae, you're going to ruffle some feathers because yeah, like you said, you don't want to take the attention off the dark skinned black male image that's already in there. Even sports, yeah, you don't want the greatest player to be Curry. You know, you want it to be
LeBron
somebody that,
or
yeah,
Jordan
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, sir. So you definitely got a point with that, but the problem is see, black people have not created their own uh space to where they could block everybody out, and see, I don't want to get too deep or political, or I don't want to spread my opinion too much, but I got a bad opinion about the whole integration movement itself because I felt the integration movement didn't focus on black people in America being self-sufficient. It more focused on throwing white and black people together. But that's another topic. But yeah, you're right.
Sure.
So when you introduce these people to these spaces, it ruffles feathers because blacks don't really have their own space. See what they did with hip hop? They made it to where anybody could waltz in. You could have anybody, man. It's to the point where we had Iggy Azalea and people from
Or
Australia
Post
and things
Malone.
like that.
Yeah. Post
Post
Malone.
Malone, yeah. Oh my
Mm.
God, I was in Salt Lake City. I lived in Salt Lake City for 2 years. This guy was like God out there. Post Malone was like God in Salt Lake City. I even went. I used to clean up after the Utah Jazz games for extra money, and every now and then they'll have like a concert or whatever at the Delta Center Arena, and they had Post Malone one night, and we had to wait 30 minutes to start our cleanup because he was busy signing autographs for everybody in the crowd. But yeah, that's my memories on Post Malone. Yeah, he's really big out there in Salt Lake. And that's another great place too for lighter skin or mixed race guys. Salt Lake City, Utah.
I don't
Um,
know. I got to push back
yeah,
against that. I've been out
you
there.
you
It's
you
weird.
think so?
Yeah, I
Really?
don't like. It's weird out there. I don't like it.
Oh man, what?
For
Well,
me,
what was your experience in Salt Lake? Because I'm interested.
I like mulattas and Latinas. If I don't see like enough mulattas or Latinas, it's just to me it's ultra conservative. It's probably one of the most conservative cities in America. Ultra conservative, very white, which is cool. If it's white, that's fine. But it's just that the culture is different there in Salt Lake City. And the Mormon, the religion there, the religious theology there is Mormonism. I was only there, I visited there like several years ago. I just took a road trip. I was there for like a few days and I didn't like the vibe at all. I even went with a group and went like hiking. I think it was like Silver Mountain or
Yeah,
something. One of these Silver Wolf Mountain, one of these mountains. I went with a hiking group just to get acquainted with people and in that whole area. And nah, I don't know, man. That's not a good market for me personally. But hey, everyone's cup of tea is different, you know. Um, I just been out there and I was like, yeah, that's place is kind of whack for me. I'd rather go to
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's all
You
good.
know what? When I first got there, I felt the same way. It took me to the summertime to really see how things were moving. Cause I got like dead in the winter, and yeah, I didn't really like it. And when things started heating up, I started seeing people moving around. I mean, but I do feel though it had a bad vibe, and it's a lot of different laws there and things. But I'm gonna tell you though, it is a light skin friendly place. I'm gonna tell you that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's you're
But
always
it's
gonna
whack.
have
But like you said, the culture kind of whack though. You're right.
yeah, it's for me it's just whack. But yeah, you're all it's plentiful with white people, white women, so you're always gonna have the option. You want white women for sure, but I don't know. For me, my vibe is more so mulatto, mestiza. So I feel like the coast, you're in the East Coast, like Florida or California, or if you go international, etc., or some other major city, like you said, Phoenix, I think is a good market, or Las Vegas. These are good markets for lighter skinned men and biracial men specifically. So it depends. You navigate around the society, the country, different countries. You'll find what works out best for you. But hey, man, I'm gonna end this stream now. But I appreciate you hopping on here. I really do. I appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, man. We'll definitely talk again, man. My name's Chris. Like I said, I'm out here, man. I'm still learning, man. Shout out to For Light, Mulatto Vanguard, Light Skin History. All you guys definitely putting in the work. Also, I wanted to add on that the guy that wrote that book, Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams, he was married to a white woman,
I
and so
heard about
was the
that.
yeah, so was the author of Pre-Colonial Black Africa, Dr. Sheikh Amp Diop was married to a white woman, and several other of them, man. I could probably make a list for you one day, but we'll chop it up again in the future.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you.
No doubt. Peace.
Take it easy. Man, that is crazy. The fact that he said that the book Chancellor Williams wrote, The Destruction of Black Civilization, was wrote by a black guy, Chancellor Williams, obviously, but his partner was a white woman. I've heard that before, but he's basically reiterating it, stating it again. But that's crazy. The guy's whole premise of the book was anti-mulatto. He basically prefaced like the whole situation, his whole literary work as like the mulatto problem. That was the big takeaway that the Afrocentrics and pro-blacks take from the book. That oh, you got to be careful. These mulattoes are duplicitous. They're working for whites to undermine black people. And my whole situation, my whole theory is like, why the hell are we dealing with them? If they're suspicious of us, let's get the fuck away from them. Let's draw a line in the sand. Let them know, hey, we're not the same as you, and let's move forward with that. So there's no suspicious, nothing fishy. You know where we stand. We over here, we know where you stand. So none of this fake conspiracy shit about Chancellor Williams. I don't want to hear that. I've already debunked all this Chancellor Williams crap when I first started up out here. So, but yeah, he said that he's married. The guy was married to a white woman. I'm not surprised. Look at Tariq Nasheed, married to a mulatto, not a black woman, mulatto, and it, with a white mom. Okay, and then he got Phil Show married to a Mexican. So it's very common with these people, you know, pro wax, and they never practice what they preach. Very, very typical. I'm gonna end this stream now, guys. Shout out to you guys in the chat, DC and Bunny Strange, mulatto ladies holding it down. You know I love you guys the most, mulatto ladies, and like I said with the lady you see on the screen, she's white mom, biracials, black identity. Like I've already basically debunked everything with this lady, and she's a mulatto. Okay, she got a white mom, and like I said, it was a mulatto who earlier today, several hours ago or yesterday, whatever, who shared this video with me. And so I'm just doing my community service, but I'm, you know, easily debunkable when because we see the rhetoric, we see the nose piercing, we're listening to her verbiage, the lexicon she has, and we're like, okay, this is clearly academically LGBT, intersectional feminism, like everything she's spreading. Like this doesn't apply to us mulattoes though. But if they want to demonize us and vilify us, mulattoes, and she's going to call us tragic and confused to appease black people who are in those feminist LGBT intersectional circles. Very despicable. And I don't feel like black people, they're not to blame here. They're not deploying her. She is a willing participant because this is her pathway to blackness to get bonus points and acceptance into her group. Because I already know her audience. I haven't even examined her social media. If I were to go to her videos and look at her comment section, I guarantee you it would be over 80% black. That lets you know everything you need to know. Look at my comment section. I got mulattoes and mixed people. Like we're not the same, you know. Like my audience has been carefully curated, like with the message I'm pushing. Like I want the people over here that are over here. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Obviously, you're gonna have trolls and saboteurs hop up in here. And Elroy Swartz put, I think that mulattoes should wear Black Lives Matter clothing and shouldn't be part of that movement. Or I think that mulattoes shouldn't wear Black Lives Matter clothing and shouldn't be a part of that movement. It's not, that's been known. It's not beneficial to us, but the Black Lives Matter is LGBT and they pretend to be pro-black. They use the tragedies that happen to black males and some black females. But mostly it happens to black males, police brutality. They use those tragedies to promote a black lesbian intersectional agenda. And that's what you see on the screen with the lady here. She's part of that camp. She's pushing that. And that's the same machine that's promoting Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is part of that same machine of the BLM, because you would be surprised if you analyze like the audience, the people who are Kendrick supporters, it's going to be a lot of gays, a lot of pro-black gays who like Kendrick. It's the same audience, the same machine, the same programming, the same apparatus. The BLM, the white financiers, the white liberal support, the intersectionality, pro-gay, you know, pro-black feminists and all this crap. It's literally the same machine. The same rhetoric this lady's pushing, this biracial lady. It's the same exact thing. That's it, guys. I'm going to end this right now, and I'll talk to you guys pretty soon. All right. Peace out.